I got worried the other day. I thought, oh no, my amp hasn't blown up, has it? It's like, no, Windows disable your sound output.
It's my lucky carpet. Let me tell you how it started. Where'd you get it, babe? I bought it in the market. Who's from? Local sells carpet. It's my underbelted lucky charm. It's got a lot more luck than my lucky barn. And if we were ever parted, I would be broken hearted. Lucky, lucky carpet. Lucky, lucky carpet. Lucky carpet. Yeah! Yeah, 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 yeah. My lucky carpet. Wow.
Actually timed that pretty well. That's pretty much the same. Yeah, that's Vic Reeves singing "Lucky Carpet." Where did you get?
Oh, speaking.
Where did he get the lucky carpet? From a man who sells carpets.
Speaking
Was his
of
name
which,
Aladdin by any chance? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a great song. "Don't Slip on Loose Muesli" is also another one of my favourites of Vic Reeves.
Was it a genie? Was it a big blue guy?
No, it's a man who sells carpets. He didn't specify. He just said it was a man who sells carpets. Could be anybody.
so speaking of which, somebody got shirty with me on the Twitters today because we were having an argument about food,
Yeah.
and it's very important.
Was it
having
an American?
arguments about food. Yeah, actually, it was.
Yeah.
And,
They can't speak. They should not be allowed to speak on the subject of food.
Well, they were complaining about chicken getting dry in the oven. And I said, well, what you can do is wrap it in bacon. And then they just went on this long rant about how it's inappropriate. And I just thought,
Or learn
no,
to cook. Or learn
let's
to cook
find a
properly.
gif of Vic Reeves and Bob Mortimer and Shooting Stars where they just hold their handbags up at someone and go, ooh.
Did it calm him down any? Or I suppose it got him more irate if you thought if you were laughing.
I think I'm probably blocked now.
Yeah.
And I think they, I won that argument, and I think they'd admit that themselves.
Yeah. So anyway,
Yeah.
tonight's show title. Do you remember there's a Disney film called? I've never actually watched it, but it's called "One of Our Dinosaurs Is Missing." So that's the inspiration for tonight's title.
One of our dinosaurs. Why?
I've called it "One of Our Scientists Is
Fucking-
Missing."
Fucking dinosaurs, how do they work?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking dinosaurs.
Fucking
where are
scientists. How do they?
Oh,
how
wait.
do they work? I'm surprised because they're all fucking dead.
Dead.
Well, so it turns out if you're not doing shark science, you just get murdered by the Saudis. Oh, sorry, have I?
No, you don't.
If I,
No, you don't. You get accidentally
spoiled
mugged or a car accident or.
Or you end up getting run over by a train, which is not suspicious at all in the slightest.
Did you ever watch that? I don't know because you've never really been into Nirvana. You ever watched that Nick Broomfield documentary about Nirvana?
I know that Kurt Cobain's wife killed him.
Well, the thing is though, there was this guy. I think his name was El Duce, but he's in this Nick Broomfield documentary. He's basically going to Nick Broomfield. Look, if you give me some skag or a bottle of whiskey or something, I'll tell you exactly who killed Kurt Cobain. Nick Broomfield, because he's a fucking idiot. Because he's from the what's his name? Louis Theroux School of Journalism. Completely misses what this bloke's trying to tell him, and he goes, "Oh, a couple of weeks later, this dude was found dead under a train." That's a fucking surprise, isn't it?
Nice. I always thought it was strange. Like, do you remember Joan Collins? Not the.
Actually, can I just finish my rant about Nick Broomfield?
Yeah.
Nick Broomfield also did a documentary where it was, I think he was literally the last person to speak to Eileen Warnosh. You know, the prostitute that killed punters. She was about to say something really interesting, so he just winds her up about her dad. He's just Nick Broomfield is like the shittest journalist ever. He's always in the right place at the wrong time He's always in the right place at the right time with the wrong question.
I almost got a feeling like his job,
could be either.
Fraser said.
He's running cover.
It sounds like because she said there was a big conspiracy and the coppers were letting her do it or something. So then she's going into that and he goes, "Oh, your dad was a bit of a cunt, weren't he?" And then she goes off. Like her last words are literally her going off on her dad. Evening alphabet cat eating interdimensional lizard.
Hello, interdimensional lizard and alphabet cat. I haven't been doing any Unreal Tournament lately because I just...
You're not been playing Doom?
I just haven't been drinking. Yes, that's it. According to Ian, all games are Doom. What did Ian do before Doom was invented? We played Tetris or chess or something. Tiddlywinks.
Is this Pong?
It says Pac-Man.
No, Pong was the first. Pong was like the first one because it was like the easiest one to program. Like Pac-Man was a bit more advanced. Pong was the one.
Actually, there was a game before Pong called Space War.
And was there?
Yeah, but it wasn't a commercial game.
Did you ever play on one of those really old systems where it was like it was a handheld with a dial on it, and that's how you used to play Pong? You used to move it up and down with a dial. Yeah,
it was an analog control. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
The first game, it wasn't a commercial. It was just.
This is from the before times, Fraser. You young whippersnapper, you.
Yes, yeah. I thought the Nintendo Entertainment System was bad, but its control of it.
You never played. Have you never seen or played the original Pong?
Nope.
So Pong
anything before the NES was like.
Pong is pixel, and then you have some longer pixels. But what you got to do is you got to make sure the little pixel doesn't fly off past the long pixel. Like that's just basically all of those games.
Tennis for two.
Can you imagine? Do you remember Hobbit in the before times when you used to have you even have to use your imagination when playing computer games?
Well, I used to play games without any sound, and I'd make my own sound effects.
Yeah.
You still do that, don't you?
Yeah, actually, yes, I do.
Does it all the time when he's playing Doom, don't you, Hobbit?
I was going to say all you have to do is watch an Unreal Tournament stream, and there's just some.
And that's what it was called. Yeah, Alphabet Cats, right? It was called a panel. I swear, but Alphabet Cats like an olden like us, isn't he? I think Interdimensional Lizard might be as well.
Well, they enjoy watching me play games, so I think
peak. I think Fortean Words is peak Exa entertainment. Yeah, Alphabet Cat's in his 40s.
Oh, well, there you go. Same age.
We're all the young fogies. Someone said the other
day. When did Rick Mell? What age was he when he died? And then Aid Edmondson swooping in like a vulture to shit all over the memory of his friend, who was his alleged friend, I should say. Fuck you, Aid Edmondson. Adrian.
1958 to 2014, Hobbit.
Oh, so
that's a terrible picture of him on his Wikipedia.
So he was 46 when he died. Bloody hell, that's young, isn't it? 46 years old.
No, I'm older than him. Jeez.
Yeah. Eventually, I'll be older than him.
Oh, here you go. Adrian Edmondson, a bit strained relationship with Rick Mail before comedian's death, so he'd had enough of his shit, basically.
No, just Adrian Edmondson realised that Rick's far more talented, successful, and handsome than he ever will be, and got resentful about it.
Yeah, he was in that really shitty Alien series.
What? Aid?
Yeah, Aid Edmondson was in that shitty Disney Alien series, Alien Earth.
Oh, right. Oh, I don't know anything about that. All I know about Aid is everything he's done without Rick has been really boring and crap. And he does, like, he's in a band.
This isn't the first time Edmondson has opened up about his relationship with Mail. In a 2023 memoir, he revealed that their comedic partnership endured difficulties when they reunited for a Bottom project in 2012, with Mail becoming annoyed at the distribution of jokes between them. Edmondson wrote, and I realised maybe Edmondson did it because he says, and I realised the double act is properly over. There is no trust left. It was glorious when it was alive. It's even when it was alive or he was alive. I'm immensely proud of everything we did together. It still makes me laugh, but I'm glad we didn't do a dodgy final series.
And the problem about all of that is we'll never hear Rick Mail's side of the story. I mean, I got to say, all the stuff that Rick Mail did after Aid Edmondson.
So Aid Edmondson is basically going, I didn't really fancy him anyway.
All the stuff Rick Mail did after Aid Edmondson. Yeah. You just, if anything, I would say that Aid was holding Rick back.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Never mind, eh?
Yeah. Well, anyway, on to cheerier news. Should we talk about all these scientists what died?
Mysterious deaths surrounding scientists.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to start off. We've done him before, but just briefly, Nikola Tesla wasn't killed, but his work certainly was.
Yeah. Should we talk first? Brand new news, like what prompted this episode?
Yeah, so there's this bloke, Fraser knows his name, and he was working on plasma turbulence, which is important for fusion reactors, as the hotter you make plasma, the more turbulent
his name is Nuno Luario.
And the harder it is to contain the plasma, the more likely you're going to get a plasma breach. Now, years and years ago, back when I was studying physics, I did speak to some of the chaps at ITER, and I said to them, how dense is this plasma? You know, worst case scenario, let's say you get a confinement breach. What happens? They said, well, the area gets contaminated with beta radiation for a little bit, and about a millimeter of the inner lining will be instantly vaporized. So there'll be a great big bang. Some people will probably lose their hearing, and you'll need to evacuate the area for a bit. But apart from that, it's all right. Start up again. And they're saying you'd actually get a far worse explosion from a coal power station having a boiler breach. I mean, I don't know myself, but the point being is the plasma in it's not very dense.
So the skinny of it, the basic details are. Police say, that's weird when they say police say. Police say officers were called to an apartment in Brookline around 8:30 p.m. on Monday following reports of gunshots. Luario was found dead and rushed by ambulance to a Boston hospital where he died early Tuesday morning. Authorities confirmed he had been shot multiple times. The Norfolk County District Attorney's Office has classified the case as an active and ongoing homicide investigation. Well, he was only shot Tuesday. You can't quite close it up yet. They seem quite... No suspect has been arrested and no motive has been confirmed. Investigators have not said whether the shooting was targeted. So everybody's favourite Mossad agent, Laura Loomer, said MIT professor of nuclear science and physics Nuno Luario was shot and killed at his home in Brookline, Massachusetts on Monday evening. He's reportedly Jewish and pro-Israel. So Laura Loomer there just trying to cover up for whoever actually did it.
Again, I think that's sort of immaterial. The point is he must have been...
Being Jewish and pro-Israel doesn't preclude the Mossad from taking you out.
He was working on the branch of...
I don't know, he did work at MIT. What's MIT like? Is that like a lefty hellhole like everybody everywhere else?
Just ask some beachgoers in Australia.
It doesn't... I would say it's probably inherently right-wing because it deals with hard sciences, and unfortunately... That doesn't leave much room for fuzzy feelings and stuff like that. It's either you're right or you're wrong. And so it deters the shitlibs from it. But the fact is, he was working on the branch of mathematics to predict plasma turbulences, and his field of mathematics. Well,
so someone says here 3 theories, one tragedy: the mysterious murder of MIT fusion genius Nuno Luario. So he had 3 decent theories then, from what they're saying here.
put it this way: a lot of people just like, oh yeah, I've got this new technology, and it's going to be really great and stuff like that. But the fact that they murdered him is enough for me to think that. And I'm going to say it's the Saudis, but it could be any other party involved. His work must have been close enough where, like, yeah, we're worried about this. This is going to put an end to our hegemony.
Or this is going to interrupt someone's profits. There's always that.
Well, that's
Big
what
oil.
I mean. It's the end of someone's hegemony.
Yeah.
I mean, never mind the fact that, you know, if I was a Saudi prince, I'd be like, right, buy up his patents, build the reactors, and then we're going to have good PR for the world, like with Dubai chocolate. We're going to say, you know, it's Dubai fusion.
Like that time they made it snow in the desert. Yeah, that kind of PR, yeah.
Or
Shortly after Portugal's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Paulo Rangel, announced his death to the Parliament of Portugal. The President of Portugal, Marcelo Rebelo de Sousa, issued a statement calling his death an irreplaceable loss for science, and the US ambassador to Portugal released a statement with condolences. MIT President Sally Kornbluth, she probably is, published a message to the MIT community, and professors from across the university made public remarks regarding Lauerio's life and work. I can't find what... he was married with 3 children as well, so poor little kiddies.
I mean, if you want, I can read out some of the very dry titles.
It might not even be the plasma, you know, because it's Intro into Plasma Physics, and he did an MHD Theory of Fusion Systems. Fusion systems, as we'll find out in a bit, are another thing that gets you knocked off, aren't they? Anyway, what were you saying, Hobbit?
Well, the funny thing is, last week I was studying MHD, which stands for Magnetic Hydrodynamics, and it's the study of magnetism as a fluid. Well, again, fluid dynamics, because the thing is, a lot of stuff in magnetism does work a lot like a fluid. And the same sort of things you can do with induction coils, you can also do with water turbines, and they're very analogous to one another. They're not identical, but they are analogous. And if I'm reading some of the titles here, we got efficient quantum algorithm for dissipative nonlinear differential equations, which is very abstract. But if you look into some of the other stuff here, we got formation of plasmoid
So his main interests were magnetic reconnection, which is a physical process occurring in electrically conducting plasmas, which the magnetic topology is rearranged and magnetic energy is converted into kinetic energy. So magnetic reconnection, nuclear fusion, and MHD turbulence, which kind of sounds like it adds up to something that's going to make cheap electricity, doesn't it?
Right. So there's a bunch of things here, for example. I mean, in the very simplest way, you can use a fusion reactor to heat up a kettle and drive a steam turbine. And I think there's nothing wrong with that. If you're producing a lot of heat, you may as well use it to drive a steam turbine. There's nothing wrong with that technology. Yeah. However, the other interesting thing you can do with this, and this could lead to portable fusion reactors, is using MHD induction coils. Let's just call it an induction core. Right?
Well, there was all that big noise about the Rolls-Royce mini reactors, and now it's gone dead quiet, hasn't it?
Those are fission reactors, and the reason they go quiet is because Miliband won't buy them. Yeah. But all you'd have to do is buy 40 of them, and they're 400 megawatts each. So if you bought 10 of them, that's for 400 megawatts.
Is that gigawatts you're going into then? Is it?
Yeah, so the baseline load, the average consumption in the UK is about, is it 30 gigawatts? So anyway, I think saying if you buy, if you bought 10 of them, you would have 4 gigawatts of power.
Yeah.
So if you bought so 10 would give you 4 gigawatts of power. So I think that's why I said 40. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to get the calculator. Anyway, that's not important. Important thing is, stuff when he's doing formation of plasmoid chains of magnetic reconnection, again, it just sort of means this is a fusion reactor where you're not heating up steam, you're using the actual plasma flux in it to stimulate induction coils. You're inducing via induction coils, which is great. Because basically, plasma goes round and round in a circle, and it's the same as a generator going round and round. So in a generator, the way it makes electricity is you've got two bits. You've got your stator, which is stationary, and then you've got your rotor, which is the bit that rotates. And what you can do, like in, say, sort of a steam turbine or anything which turns that rotor around, it induces a current against the stator's coils, and then you can generate electricity from it. So the way you do that in a fusion reactor is, instead of the rotor being a physical object, it's actually a plasma, and your stator is still the same, although it's probably a bit more sophisticated, and it's superconducting because you're probably going to be cooling it with liquid nitrogen. And again, you've got your plasma going round and round, and it generates electricity just like a generator, except we're dealing with something more exotic than copper coils around a ferrite core. So it's neat stuff. And this is what, if we want like a starship with a fusion reactor in it, well, unfortunately you're not going to be able to carry around a lake's worth of water with you. Well, unless you're dealing with a generation ship, in which case you'd want a sea's worth of water, because it would be good for shielding too. But yeah, he's dead now. So fusion, unfortunately, it's been set back by his loss. And I really hope other people can take his research up. But unfortunately, with this stuff, it's not just there's kind of like this thing where it takes a lot of effort to get a new technology going, but once the technology is done, copying it's fairly straightforward. Like the first time a jet engine came about, even though people understood like steam turbines, and they understood turbines, and they understood compression, the actual metallurgy, the real hard part to a jet engine is like, how do you make an engine out of metal which doesn't just melt immediately when you make a jet engine out of it? And the Germans got close in the 1940s. They were like, well, we can make an engine, but after about 16 hours, it's going to melt, and it can't be used anymore. But up until that point, we've got a jet engine. And then eventually they got like reliable jet engines in the 1950s. And that was the work of Frank Whittle. And Frank Whittle, fortunately, has survived. And he was able to do that. And
is he from Rugby? He's from Rugby or Lutterworth or something, isn't he?
Well, do you know what really annoys me about this? Again, it just is the sort of thing of like, with enemies like this, who with friends like this, who needs enemies? But one of the stipulations with America is we'd share our technology with them. And the understanding is that if they do any innovations, they'll share it back with us, because it's kind of like, well, look, we'll share it with you. You make any improvements, you'll let us know about it, right? So we can continue to do it ourselves. And the two major technologies we shared with Americans was radar and jet engines. And we shared that with General Electric, or is it General Motors? One or the other. And then they went, we made some improvements.
Probably General Electric, because Edison's a cunt, isn't he?
So
he's dead now, but yeah.
He's still a cunt.
Well done with those improvements to the jet engines. Can we see them? No. Who are you? Anyway, we're going to share this technology with the Russians. Why? Well, you see, we got Israelis here, and by the way, sorry about the King David Hotel bombing. And the Israelis have stolen all of our research and your research into jet engines, and they've now shared it with the Soviets. Yeah, lol.
Oh, so that's how you ended up with the MiG then?
Basically, double agents working in the United States stole jet engine technology from us,
or they could be termed dual citizens, couldn't they?
Well, or rootless cosmopolitans. Either way, Russia ended up, or the Soviet Union, I should say, ended up with English technology when we were effectively at war with them, and it was all thanks to our good friends and close allies, the Americans. So thank you very much, USA. Yeah. Really appreciate that. You did really good with
Are we ready for a 23-man list that I found on LinkedIn? So there is good. It's as good a list as any.
We're going to have that Pick of the Pops music.
Not for 23, maybe for 3. I don't know about 20.
Yeah.
It'll drag on a bit. Anyway, do you want to start off? Who wants to start us off with Stanley Meyer? Because I'm just looking into Tom Ogle, who's the next person on the list.
Or shall I do Stan Meyer briefly?
So you do Stanley Meyer, I think.
Right, so Stan Meyer is someone I know about because I remember watching the documentary years ago and reading about using resonance to crack water. Now, cracking water into Brown's gas, as it's called, which is 2 parts hydrogen and 1 part oxygen, it's nothing new.
Is that nothing to do with the brown noise?
No, it's called Brown's gas. I don't know why it's called Brown. It's probably like Mr. Brown invented a technique to.
Is it if you get the resonance wrong, you poop yourself?
Yeah.
Well, you get the resonance wrong, you end up setting yourself on fire because it's very explosive. But there's nothing to. In fact, one of the earliest experiments I did with my dad was he got this battery charger he made for motorcycle batteries, and he showed me. He put some salt in the water, which is a bit dangerous because you end up with chlorine gas. But he showed me electrolysis of water, and he did it like so. One end we had oxygen, and the other end we had hydrogen. And he said, "All right." So he lit a candle, he snuffed it out, and he says, "Put that candle in this," and I did. So the ember, it reignited and it burst into flames. So that was the end with the oxygen. And he says, "Put it into this one," and I did, and there was a little pop as the hydrogen exploded. There wasn't much in it, but just enough.
You might find that there's quite a link between a lot of these deaths, because I'm looking at the second one on the list, Tom Ogle, and we'll get to it. But yeah.
So anyway, just briefly, I've made.
I like the ones where it's him and all of his assistants also die.
Yeah.
So just briefly, I've made Brown's gas, but the fact is, it takes a fair bit of electricity to do it. Now, what Stan Meyer did, on
the cranking electricity in your plugs, isn't that supposed to be like massive though, isn't it? It's like stepped up or something, isn't it? So when you crank your engine,
yeah,
the electricity through your plugs is supposed to be massive, isn't it? It's supposed to be like big, huge amounts of electricity, isn't it? You were talking about using massive amounts of electricity.
I haven't got to that bit yet, but
okay.
The point being with Brown's gas is like, look, you can make it, but it does take a fair bit of electricity, and you won't get the same amount of electricity back by burning the Brown's gas. So it's a net loss of energy. It's not a way to make energy.
Yeah.
But Stan Meyer figured out using resonance, where you could create this self-sustaining reaction where the water will keep cracking itself with very little electricity going in.
So would the crack be the thing that's driving the pistons in the engine then?
Well, when you get a Brown's gas, you can essentially, in an engine, it just works like burning hydrogen. An engine can be tuned to do that, and
because literally all you've got to do is have an explosion in the chamber, haven't you? The explosion could be anything, can't it? Really.
I mean, Japanese companies like Toyota have looked into hydrogen-powered cars, and they've done it for quite some time because you've got 2 choices there. You can either do it with internal combustion, which is nice. That's pretty cool. Or the other alternative is you put the hydrogen into a fuel cell, like they've done with various spacecraft, and use it to generate electricity and water, which is also very cool. Yeah. But you see, that's the thing with the Brown's gas. It was like Stan Meyer using resonance, and just as an example of resonance, like
is it because doesn't this kind of link up to Coral Castle as well? Because wasn't that done with resonance, and that was kind of mysterious what happened to the guy there as well, weren't it? Going back to one of our previous episodes.
he was using levitation, but I think we might be onto something here because, like, here's the example I'm going to use. If you want an example of resonance and how powerful it is, a soprano can shatter a crystal wine glass just by singing at the right resonant frequency. It makes the wine glass resonate in sympathy to it, and then it causes a feedback loop where eventually the glass can't contain it and it shatters. Which I think, is pretty interesting. It's just like there's not that much energy in it. I mean, yeah, sure, your ears will hurt, but it's not going to cause your body to start like breaking apart. But it's enough to shatter glass, and it's the same thing with water. If you get its resonant frequency, unfortunately, I don't have that number to hand because I'm very poor with numbers. You can shatter it. And then it's just put it in the fuel cell, put it in internal combustion engine. You're generating more than enough power to keep the alternator going and to keep the car running. So Stan Meyer did his thing. He toured America in his water-powered car, and then the Saudis murdered him.
So the next one we've got on our list is Tom Ogle, the El Paso inventor of the Oglemobile. So let's flick through this. So Tom Ogle, inventor of a purported car that gets super gasoline mileage, was under police guard at Thomason General Hospital after he was shot outside a northeast bar early Tuesday. Police Lieutenant John Lanahan said Ogle drove himself to the northeast police substation early Tuesday. Weird that they call it a substation, isn't it? Ogle told police he was wounded in the stomach outside the substation. Ogle didn't know a motive for the shooting, and interviews with customers who were at the bar yielded nothing. Nobody from the bar even knew about the shooting. Lanahan said the weapon used apparently was a small caliber. The bullet had not been removed, and Ogle's doctors may decide to leave it in his body, Lanahan said Tuesday afternoon. So he had difficulty. I thought he died. Oh no, Tom. No, that's not it. Okay, so he was shot. So this report has been shot, but Tom Ogle actually died in his warehouse, but burnt down under mysterious circumstances. So along with Ogle's sudden national attention came partner problems, royalty and patent conflicts and bills. In June, this is what what's his name? Edison did to Tesla, wasn't it? It was vicious.
JP Morgan.
Yeah.
So JP Morgan was Tesla's backer.
Yeah.
And when Tesla explained to him about wireless power and how it was free power as well. It wasn't like, here's my coal power station and I send the electricity into the air wirelessly and people pick it up. It's just like, no, it's just etheric energy. It's in the air all around us, and you just tap into it. And then they were like, well, no, that's no good for me. No profit in that. And Tesla was like, well, it's not about the profit. It's about elevating everybody to have free electricity.
Yeah.
And JP Morgan had the Wardenclyffe Tower destroyed, burnt to the ground.
Yeah.
And Tesla died penniless in a hotel. And Donald Trump's uncle, who was I forget his name, John Trump, he was working for the United States Navy, and he was the commanding officer which seized Nikola Tesla's patents on his death.
In June 1978, Ogle sold the marketing rights of his invention to a Seattle firm, Advanced Fuel Systems Incorporated. 6 months later, the Securities Exchange Commission slapped an injunction on the Seattle firm, claiming it had violated the registration and anti-fraud provisions of federal securities law. The firm continued to develop Ogle's invention for mass marketing. A year ago, the firm's president, Bern Kersley, said the system was not ready for mass marketing. When it is, the story will break through the national media, he boasted. Oh, so Tom Ogle dead at 26. El Paso Times, August 20th, 1981. A scared and depressed Tom Ogle, 26, inventor of the Oglemobile, Tuesday, went to Smuggler's Inn for another night of drinking, his last. About 2 a.m. Wednesday, Ogle went to the home of his girlfriend, Sylvia Rangel. As they talk, Ogle collapsed, police Lieutenant John Lanahan said. Same useless police lieutenant. Same. What's his name from the Simpsons?
Officer Barbrady.
No, that's South Park. The one, Wiggum, Chief Wiggum.
Might be a good bet.
Chief Wiggum.
I'm sorry, but
yeah.
I keep thinking of Officer Barbrady, and he reminds me of that guy who says, "What up, YouTube?
Yeah.
2 new subscribers this week."
So Barbrady's all over this case. Ogle received 3. You got me saying Barbrady now. I meant to say Wiggum. Wiggum's all over this case. The chicken shaggers leading him all the way through this. Ogle.
I wish I could read.
Yeah.
But I can. Yeah.
Ogle was revived 3 times by emergency medical. Okay. The tranquilizer Darvon had been mentioned as a possible complication to Ogle's heavy drinking, which our officers detected when they responded to the call. Lanahan said it would not be known what medication Ogle was taking until an autopsy was performed. He strongly suspects. So, Dr. Merton L. Howard, a pathologist at Sun Towers Hospital, substituting for medical examiner Dr. Juan Contin, said, so it's a substitute pathologist. The thinks just keep adding up, don't they? He said he strongly suspected that Ogle died of an overdose, but the cause of death will be not known until the autopsy. Drinking heavily, taking tranquilizers become a way of life for him. Obviously, so they're building up the story now. Ogle's mother said her son owed money to Tim Strayer and he was scared to death. What else? Everyone just skinned him. Fucking hell, that's what his mum said. If I'd known what he was going to do, maybe then. Grew up in poverty, young inventor. Seems to have made it big and then everyone just skinned him, Ogle's lawyer, Bobby Perrell, said. Perrell saw the inventor a week before his death. He described Ogle as being depressed. Ogle was broken trying to sell his possessions. So there you go. That's what happened. If you want to invent something, don't. Is my if it's some pointless bit of JML tap, go for it. But if it's a life changing thing, just fucking don't. You'll live longer.
Just remember, if you're thinking of inventing something, don't.
Yeah. He also said Ogle was concerned that the Seattle.
Are you trying to tell me
that
my pillow isn't a threat to the establishment?
My pillow certainly is a threat to the establishment because it's run by literally Hitler.
I know. It's like Hitler's come back and he wants everybody to have a good night's sleep. The final sleep, one might say.
I'm trying to find this Francisco Pavon. They keep saying he's a football player. I don't think they'd have killed a football player, would they? Let's try putting inventor in here. I'm trying to find him. Do you want to have a look for? See if you can find this Francisco Pavon geezer.
Fraser?
All I'm getting is former football player.
Francisco Pablo?
Yeah, Francisco. Well, Francisco Pavon, I can't find him. But he allegedly died of a respiratory disease after his car was confiscated.
Right. Where's this list of people? What died?
The big spooky bloke stood in front of the moon. It's that article.
The big spooky bloke stood in front of the moon.
Yeah.
Oh, is that about? No, that's 10 mysterious deaths and disappearances that still puzzle historians. 5-time scientists suspiciously died after making big discoveries.
No, it should be 20. It's LinkedIn. It's a LinkedIn article.
The Globe and Mail?
No, it's literally like the second one I put in today. Like the third one I put in today. Mysterious death of inventors. Were they silenced for unveiling breakthrough technologies?
Well, there's like 1, 2, 3. There's 3 links you've put in here. The Globe and Mail. 5-time scientists have died. Discover the explosive global tech violence and breaking news. SDI scientists mysteriously die in cluster of suspicious deaths.
I'll put it in again. Have another go.
Ah, right. Okay, yeah.
You ain't gone up far enough, I don't think. There's a whole pile
Well,
of
no,
links there.
because after that, it's last week. It's about 10 mysterious deaths, and it's about like Amelia Earhart.
Yeah, fucking lesbian.
Right, so Francisco Pavon.
Yeah, I've had a look. All I come up with is footballer. I don't think footballers are inventors, are they?
Francisco Pavon is a Spanish former footballer who played as centre back.
Yeah, I don't think they killed him, will they?
Well, let's see if I can find if the date of birth matches up. No, he was born in 1980.
Oh, hold on,
so...
I think I've found it. Death of King of Gasoline marks end of era for Mexican oil thieves. So, Francisco Guizar Pavon consolidated an empire in central Mexico built on stolen fuel to become the killer king of gasoline. What the fuck?
Yeah, you know what's a little bit of gasoline theft amongst friends, right?
a former employee of the Mexican oil giant Pemex, Pavon first delved into illegal gasoline, commonly referred to in Mexico as huachicol. I think that's like hooch, isn't it? Pavon or Pancho G, as he was.
I like that huachicol. It's quite good with a quesadilla.
Yeah. Maybe this is why. I don't know.
But,
so oil theft. So again, even if this isn't the guy, so you fuck around with the oil companies, you're gonna die. It's simple as that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oil theft became a multi-billion-dollar trade, reaching an estimated $3.25 billion in 2018.
That's almost as much as Nvidia.
Yeah.
Because Nvidia, you know, they're kind of they're keen on that sort of stuff, aren't they?
I can't find this guy. If it might be the theft guy.
I'm back.
Hello, welcome back.
No, he was shot dead. He was shot dead, so it can't be that one.
Yeah.
There must be another guy like this guy. If we ever find out who he is.
Well, it doesn't help that a lot of the articles are in Spanish, but it just seems to be like, yeah, but maybe there's more than one Francisco Pavon. The problem with look, Mexicans, I got to say it right, but the problem with your people is you all use the same name.
Yeah,
you know.
I think it's like John Smith.
Okay.
John Smith, the inventor. I think you put John Smith, the inventor. I think you might have the same sort of problem.
It's kind of like the Brazilians all having the surname De Silva, or Sikhs all having the surname Singh. It's just like, can you have
Patel.
a bit of variation, please?
Yeah, I can tell you what it was
I
like
thought-
if he was a footballer. Did he invent the Cruyff turn or something?
Great, brilliant.
I've got no idea. I've got no
That's
idea.
pretty cool.
I even put inventor in there and it didn't change anything. Let's have a look at Ezat Ki Bahum. He's number 4 at our list. Da, 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 da.
Oh, Hemi, I don't think this is appropriate. We can't be using jovial music to describe suspicious deaths in suspicious circumstances.
Is there a million Ezat G Bakooms as well now as well?
G-Bacoons. That's
Have
a
a
made-up name.
look of it. See if you can find one.
Oh, okay, right. So whilst you're doing
This is another Google whack, I think.
So yeah, Paul Pantone, production plant caught fire into.
Well, this guy died in
suspicious-
1997.
Oh, is Paul Pantone the guy that does the Pantone color scheme? That printer's really like.
Does he make the? Does he make the?
No. So it's not that. He is Global Environmental Energy Technology System. So another guy that makes a car that runs on water. An inventor created an engine that
Oh, is
runs
this
on
Paul
80%
Pantone?
water.
Is this Paul Pantone you're talking about now?
Yeah. So in the inventor in the 80s had a working
Watch 'em all
prototype decades before our time. Now the funny thing is, I remember reading about you know the North Africa campaign,
Yeah.
and now the Ministry of War, which the MOD was called back then, they were like, we need to fight this campaign with tanks going across the battlefield, but petrol's a bit short. And unlike Japan, we're not investing in diesel engines for our tanks. So, like, what can we do to make the petrol we got go further? And then one of the boffins says, well, why don't we water it down? And then the High Command's like, what do you mean water it down? If you put water in it, the engines will stall. He says, well, not necessarily so. You see, we put the petrol in the engines as per usual, but we enrich the fuel with Brown's gas. So we'll have water tanks as well as petrol tanks in the tanks. And so how many times can you say tanks? In our armoured fighting
Thanks for the memory.
Yeah, so we'll have multiple fuel tanks in our armoured fighting vehicles. There we go. And we shall use electricity to generate Brown's gas in situ, which will then be fed into the air intake of the vehicles, and the hydrogen and oxygen will enrich it and will effectively supercharge our things. So we can get some efficiencies. And I think now the number quoted, which I remember seeing, was a Churchill tank could go 60% further. So let's say it had a total range of, let's be really unoptimistic.
See, all I can find from it is that G Bakum is like static charge removal devices, but I don't think this is the guy either.
So if you had a Churchill tank with, say, a maximum range of 50 miles on the single tank, if you're using this hydrogen system, it would then have a range of 80 miles on the same amount of petrol. And that was a World War II technology. So again, these Americans reading the North Africa campaign going, maybe I should experiment with that. They're taking British technology and then they're trying to do it themselves. But this time, thankfully, the noble Saudis go and murder these people brutally, chopping them into pieces with chainsaws like Jamal Khashoggi in Turkey. And, and they're saying, well, this is for stealing secrets of, this is how Arabs talk, this is for stealing secrets of jet turbine technology from the British, you kuffar. And then, chop them with chainsaws, because the Arabs, that is, according to their culture, that is to dismember people using a chainsaw. Because there's a big demand for forestry equipment in the desert.
I mean, it couldn't be this one, could it, Hobbit? So there's patent number 5613001. Presently used asymmetric digital signature verification technologies, such as the system of RSA Data Security Corp, require complex mathematical operations for encryption and decryption. As a result, today's smart credit cards have built-in microprocessors, sophisticated arithmetic logic units, and large amounts of RAM.
Hemi, that's very interesting, but what's this got to do with water-powered cars?
I don't know. I don't think it is, because these all seem to have a common. I'm gonna have a look at Eugene, my love. I'm gonna have a look at Eugene, my love. See what he did.
Yeah, there's like, sure, cryptography and encryption, that's interesting in itself, but
What the fuck?
I'm more interested in this wacky thing of, hey, look, we got free energy and the people that invent it keep being murdered. What's up with that?
Yeah. Here you go. Here's Eugene, my love. He did a magazine about free energy. So dear, we can't be distributing like crazy ideas to people, can we?
Now, if he's an American, I believe he would be pronounced Eugene, my love.
I'll just call him Eugene, my love.
We have to be culturally sensitive towards our colonial cousins here.
He's from Norwich, Connecticut, Hobbit.
Eugene, my love, from Norwich, Connecticut.
Hobbit, see if you can have a guess what institution he worked at. This guy that got murdered.
Would it perchance be the Massachusetts Institute of Technology?
How did you guess that, Hobbit?
Well, I hazarded a guess, you see. What with him being like somebody who actually understands technology and stuff, and there's a technical school in America.
Oh, Eugene, my love, is he's a Cold Fusion guy, Hobbit.
Oh yeah, that was another thing. My granddad like. So here's the thing. As a kid, right, my granddad and I we talk about science fiction and stuff because I was interested in it. I still am actually. And my granddad was telling me, he says, when I went to school, they told us there was no such thing as the ether, and they told us about electricity, and they said there's definitely no such thing as ether.
I said the
And I was
Grinch
like,
isn't real, Father Christmas isn't real.
there's two fairies. And
So why do they teach
make-believe.
kids what isn't
And
real? Why would you go through all that?
I said to my granddad, do they spend a lot of time teaching about stuff that doesn't exist? Because apparently so, you see. And yeah, so you just and then the other thing I remember him sort of being absolutely vehement about, right, was this idea that cold fusion, absolute impossibility, fantasy make believe, doesn't exist, never has done, never will.
So in 1981, he and Gregory Matloff wrote a paper about using solar sails to reach Alpha Centauri, the nearest star to the sun. They calculated the trip would take several hundred years. The ship would have to withstand accelerations of 60 G. They wrote several papers on that and other proposed methods of space travel, such as laser propulsion and the Bussard ramjet. Do you know what that is?
Yeah. So one thing, right? You got your solar cell, but you're talking about 60 G of acceleration. I'm just like,
Yeah.
if you're using and you're really being a solar cells and you're using the force of photons against the sail to propel you forward,
Yeah.
you're dealing with acceleration that's a millionths of a G.
Yeah.
I can't remember, but I think they said if you had like a solar sail that's like 100 square kilometers, or no, 100 square miles of area, you're dealing with 1 pound of force. I'm sorry, I'm not very good with the terminology for acceleration terms here, but
Yeah.
the amount of pressure that's going to be exerted on this 100 square mile thing is infinitesimally small. You will move, the way the photons pushing on it will move you, but you're going to be nowhere near 60. You're not even going to be anywhere near
Well,
1 G.
isn't it the theory that you only need a little nudge kind of thing to then start accelerating faster and faster? That's the
Well, look, the thing about
that's the idea about it, right?
Yeah,
the
I
thing
know.
about
I know.
it-
Rob Grant and Doug Naylor weren't exactly scientists, but that's the thing with Red Dwarf, isn't it? Like what it was Holly forgot to take his foot off the gas, didn't he? So the Red Dwarf carried on accelerating, didn't it?
Well, it's more like 3 million years on. You don't know where you are because even going at sublight speed, that's a long time to go somewhere.
Yeah.
It's just the thing is with the solar cell, it's like, well, what's this 60 G of? I mean, even if you got like a laser powered thing, it's like the sort of energy you're dealing with. You may as well just have like.
Well, it
Project
is
Orion
theoretical,
drive.
but there is actually some more interesting stuff that you got into. His alternative
No,
energy
what's the
research.
theory about this?
His alternative energy.
It makes no sense.
His alternative energy research also includes studying the reproduction of Wilhelm Reich's orgon motor by Paulo Carrera and Alexandra Carrera, as well as the evolution of heat in the Reich-Einstein experiment. Do you know what that is, Hobbit?
Yeah, so there was this engineer who worked with Albert Einstein on a refrigerator, and it's solid state, but it's very poisonous because it uses ammonia and chlorine, liquid chlorine or something like that. Point being is you've got like these 3 different fluids in it, and because of their different phases, kind of the critical points of overlaps one another, you can be very good. You can make a refrigerator that's solid state. It's got no moving parts, but it still works.
Craig Wilson would like us to know that he's lying on his my pillow now, on his my pillow now. That's how he put it. They are great as is Mike Lindell. So, Alphabet Cat says the Red Dwarf ship uses a ram scoop to gather hydrogen. There's also the
Bussard
a big...
ram scoop is. Well, actually, I can say the Bussard ram scoop's been debunked because there's nowhere near. It's been debunked because there's nowhere near enough hydrogen in the interstellar void to power an ion drive or whatever your thing that makes you go forward.
Hobbit. He was among the scientists and engineers who claimed to have confirmed the output of excess electric energy from tuned pulsed plasmas in vacuum arc discharges.
Oh.
Yeah. So you've got that.
Eugene Malove also used to go on
maybe
Coast to Coast AM.
vacuum isn't a vacuum at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe this vacuum is just like another way of talking about the ether.
Yeah. Maybe it's something they tried so desperately hard to like hide. And
maybe this 0 point energy can also be called what Tesla was working on, or orgone, if you're Wilhelm Reich.
In 1992, Malove was a consultant on the ERR. Malove.
Aries failure.
My love.
Maureen Malove getting a bit busy down there. ERR, the Electromagnetic Radiation Receiver project at the Noah's Ark Research Facility in the Philippines. He's also credited as a cold fusion technical consultant for providing advice to the producers of the movie The Saint from 1997, with a plot revolving around cold fusion formulas.
I keep meaning to watch that film because it's got, what's his name, had the throat cancer.
Yeah, Doc Holliday. I can't remember his name.
He was
Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer. That's it. Val Kilmer.
Apparently, his rifle shooting in Heat was that good that I think they use it to teach SEALs to this day.
What? But SEALs don't have opposable thumbs. How's that going to work?
Gets my seal of approval. Arf, arf. I can't remember what advert. What advert was that? It must have been a penguin advert.
Oh yeah, probably. But I mean, who's going to be like old? What's the word I'm looking for here? Who thought it would be a good idea to teach SEALs how to use rifles?
Is that better or worse? Is that better or worse than a cow with a gun?
It's I tell you what, it's almost as outlandish as the time the Soviets taught dolphins how to plant landmines on submarines.
Yeah.
Actually,
have you never used that phrase? I bet you like a cow with a gun, like when someone's doing something really cack-handed and badly.
I just I've heard a less politically correct one, which I think we should refrain from using.
Just use a cow with a gun; it's much safer. So Malove claims the results were suppressed through an organised campaign. So Malove did a book. And the book claims the team did produce greater than unity output. Is greater than unity greater than zero? Then Hobbit.
So that also means over unity. It means like put it this way: if you've got a generator that produces unity, it's like, well, you don't gain anything, but it is perpetual motion.
Yeah. If
you're able to draw a useful load from it, you've made an over unity engine.
So Eugene Malove was killed. They said, "Hey up, Malove. You're up, Malove.
Love
was killed on May 14th, 2004 in Norwich, Connecticut. Because I'm sure they call it Norwich. They wouldn't call it Norwich, would they? Norwich, Connecticut. While cleaning a recently vacated rental property owned by his parents, the home he grew up in. The nature of Malove's work led to some conspiracy theories regarding the homicide, but police suspected robbery as the motive."
When was that time like all news reporters said, "Oh, you know what we need to do now? We need to like be regionally sensitive and pronounce it as Bath in Newcastle.
Yeah,
and we need to say it's Eugene Malove, who may or may not have had a my pillow."
So he's got some books out. The Quickening Universe. I think he did Fire from Ice is his big book, which is the cold fusion one. If you want to, if you want to end up like Eugene Malove, do that.
Well, not really.
No thanks.
Right, let's see if we can find anything about Andrew Kazolnikov.
Oh, easy for you to say.
Yeah. American journalist
Eugene Malove. Well, I was going to read a bit about this bloke, Paul. What's his name? No, not Numa Lorino. Here we go. So,
because Kalashnikov doesn't exist. So obviously he found out something really fucking juicy because he's been scrubbed from the record.
That's the problem with
Was he best friends with Stalin? Is that why?
Yeah.
I can't find the videos on John Hutchinson anymore.
Oh shit! Can't you? Fuck.
No. I mean, I'm sure they're around somewhere, but they can't find them now.
Yeah.
I can find, the BBC will tell me about Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, but Andrew Kazolnikov is not on
Easy
this
for
list.
you to say.
Yeah, it's very. I do struggle with those Russian names.
So
I don't know when he died, but in 2008 he died of poisoning after a business meeting. So he died in 2008, but he's impossible to, like, well within like the realms of the internet, but apparently it's like without bounds to find him. Let's try death 2000. Adding their death 2008 to that.
In the meantime, Paul Pantone, water-powered vehicle, 80%. So it reduced its fuel consumption by. No, I did. Okay, I'm chewing my words. It ran on 80% water, so 1 part petrol, 4 parts water. 40 years ago, inventor Paul Pantone developed a small engine that runs on 80% water. This would be revolutionary in any setting. Driving the country's fuel consumption down 80% would give the middle-class families of America the ability to travel across the... Who cares about that stuff?
Hobbit, when you type in Andrew Kozolnikov, death 2008, one return you get is Coronation Street's Debbie Rush, heartbroken, who played Anna Windass from 2008 to 2018.
Okay,
what
so,
the fuck has that got to do with my search result?
So, I could do that, or I could carry on reading about this water-powered engine and telling the audience.
I just wanted to know how ridiculous search engines are.
Yeah, well, look, Hemi, we've done this. Okay, so we were going to do this dead internet theory show.
Well, we've decided to do it live instead.
So, look, I can summarise the dead internet theory. So you see, a long time ago, Sergey Brin and Larry Page were traveling through Bombay, sampling the delicious street food that was to offer there. And as they were enjoying their 27th bout of diarrhea that night, they said to each other, in between crying bouts of pain from their rectum, they said, hey, what if we made search engines as vibrant as Calcutta and what's happening to our arseholes right now? And then Larry Page, after he caught his breath and squirted out some rusty Ganges water, said, that sounds like a brilliant idea. Shall we import thousands and thousands of Indians who all claim they can do internet stuff? Yeah, sounds good. So they did that, and then they gave the Alphabet to some Indian CEO, and Alphabet owns YouTube as well. So it's all controlled by that. So when the AI picks up on this, I'm sure they'll be very favourable to us. And they said, hey, what if we make the search engine bring up all these sponsored results instead of the result you're looking for? And then you have to go through pages and pages of bullshit not pertinent to what you're searching for. You give up and you try one of the sponsored things instead. So,
or you keep scrolling and it's just the same shit on a different page.
Yeah, it is. Well, that's the idea, the idea is to bury anything useful into all this stuff. You either give up or you end up going to one of the sponsored results and buying whatever shit they're trying to sell you. And that's what happened to the search engine. So as much as people hate the AI apocalypse, myself included, because I would like to be able to build a computer in the future, which is not going to happen. I like AI because it's like a search engine from 2005. You type in something obscure into it and it goes, yeah, here's what you're on about.
Yeah, so the AI can find it, but we can't. It's just
well, you see, the AI has access to the same data that Google has.
Yeah, there are literally no. I've just asked Grok. Even Grok doesn't know.
But that's the thing. You said this is the problem. People like John Hutchinson get scrubbed from the internet, so we're not allowed to talk about this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But because Grok and well, to a lesser extent, ChatGPT, but I found the answers on ChatGPT aren't that good. If I ask it technical information, it tends to get it wrong or doesn't have the same amount of detail as Grok does. So I use Grok, and I'll ask it like obscure stuff about like a game I played years and years ago, and it'll find it for me, which is brilliant. I found it recently with a game called Starships Unlimited and did a video about it. Whereas if I try typing into Google, for example, 4X space strategy game from early 2000s, it'll be like, oh, did you want to play this modern remake of Master of Orion, which is really shit? It's like, no, I want you to find the game I was talking about from 1999. Well, I'll say 20 years ago because that's when I was playing it. So
literally nothing. So no exact match exists. This is what Grok says for an inventor named Tob Gestein or similar spellings like Gerstein, Geist, or Gestein, who died in a house fire in 2011. So whatever these people did was some serious fucking shit.
Yeah, and again, like, look, this episode may have get scrubbed or whatever, but I'll say it here in case anybody else is wondering. John Hutchinson. I got the name wrong there.
I know Paul Hutchinson. I knew someone called Paul Hutchinson.
So John Hutchinson was a Canadian inventor, and he was working into levitation, and there was also this phenomena where he was able to weld dissimilar materials together. And I say welding dissimilar materials like steel and wood, or glass and wood, plastic and steel.
These are all Google whacking. I'm getting nothing from So Andrew Kozolnikov, no result. Todd Gestein, no result. So Andrew Kozolnikov died of poisoning after a business meeting. Todd Gestein died in a suspicious house fire that burned his prototypes and research. And Chian Goktepe died in a car crash after his apartment was broken into and his prototype stolen. So Andrew died in 2008, Todd died in 2011, Chihan died in 2010, none of which have any results about them, like well within the internet age.
So as I was saying about John Hutchinson, a lot of people find his work into levitation or gravity manipulation very interesting, and yeah, it is. But I personally find it a lot more interesting, his work and the Hutchinson effect of welding some materials. And by the way, when you think of welding, traditionally, you get two bits of metal very hot and they get molten and weld together. But when he was welding these dissimilar materials like glass and plastic, it wasn't a hot weld. And I don't know what he was doing, but it reminded me of the story I heard about the Philadelphia experiment, where it was some people say it was cloaking, other people say it was teleportation. I think it was teleportation. And
are you talking about now, Hobbit? Sorry, I've just been searching for this stuff.
The John Hutchinson effect with welding dissimilar materials. In the Philadelphia experiment, the ship was teleported a few miles, maybe 40 knots or something, but a significant amount of space. However, the sailors in it weren't teleported in exactly the same spot. So there was like horror stories of like sailors who had like half of their torso sticking out the hull, and they were welded into place. And again, I'm thinking like with the Hutchinson effect, like where he's welding these dissimilar materials, and it's not just like, oh yeah, they're glued in place. They're like, no, they were
literally merged with the hull, weren't they?
Well, that's what I'd love to be able to like. Unfortunately, good luck trying to get hold of this material because it's classified. But I would love to see some of like John Hutchinson's welded material under a microscope and try and see like what the boundary layer looks like between, say, glass and plastic or glass and wood.
So Grok says this name appears in online conspiracy-oriented lists claiming a suppressed or free energy or alternative technology inventors who face threats, accidents, or deaths after refusing lucrative buyouts, often from oil companies or governments. In those unsubstantiated stories, so it says Peter Marinoff narrowly survived a hit and run. That's the next guy we were talking about, and he's grouped with the previous names. Says these lists circulate on forums, blogs, and social media, but lack verifiable sources, dates, locations, patent numbers, or news reports. No mainstream records or patent filings support their existence. So either these people are pulling these names
sure.
out of their arsehole, or this stuff has actually been scrubbed.
Yeah.
We'll let you decide.
So Grok's being very Reddit on that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, I've reached my limit with Grok now. I'm not allowed to ask him any more questions. When am I allowed to ask him some more questions?
20 questions every 2 hours.
Oh, okay. That's us done for this then. Right, so I'll have to resort to wanky fucking.
What do you want to ask him? I'll ask.
So basically, I'm going through that list on the LinkedIn thing. Like a lot of these people, they're just not turning up. I found him. A molecular inhaler machine. What's this one then? No, that's a crappy website.
So where did you get up to? Who did you get up to? Peter
So we're
Miller?
up to
No?
Dr. Jonathan Halsey.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so we're
Yeah, so
hitting a bit
it's
of
very
a
frustrating
brick
talking
wall
about
with
any
this
of this sort of stuff. It's like any time we get something close which could benefit humanity, it's just like, oh no, the guy's been brutally murdered, and all of his research is just going to be, gone now and never to be seen again. And
as are his internet search results. Like you're not even going to find these people on the internet.
You know, we could have like the Rolls-Royce mini reactor produces 400 watts and uses nuclear fuel, but no, Ed Miliband's just like, well, we're going to carry on with windmills and have the most expensive energy in the world, and that's why Rolls-Royce is considering going to Germany of all places. I mean, fuck me, like,
oh, this is a good one. This is
you know stuff's bad
Fraser?
You know
Okay.
stuff's bad in this country
I'll let
when
Hobbit finish.
Rolls-Royce, our last
think he's gonna
proper
bloviate
manufacturing hub, is going to Germany. With Germany, where they're just like, it's got like, well, they don't have access to natural gas anymore because of that whole Nord Stream thing. But was it Nord Stream? But anyway, point being, Germany's pretty shit for stuff these days, but it's not as bad as England. And if Rolls-Royce is just packs bags and either goes to the USA or Germany, then that's it, show's over. You know, it was a nice country, you know, lasted well, 1066 to 2030, but England's done for. It's just gone. You know, it's a nice country, but now all you can have in England is vape shops and, well, we won't talk about the Weimar conditions. Let's just not mention Weimar, England. Because I wanted to do a nice happy show where we talk about scientists dying in mysterious circumstances.
We're trying
and
to,
not
Hobbit, but you keep going off on a tangent.
It's not a tangent. It's related to the fucking thing. And the fact is, like, anytime we get close to having something which could benefit humanity, we just literal demons from hell spring up to brutally murder these scientists. It's like, oh, what's that? You got stuff which might be able to contain nuclear fusion and make it sustainable. Well, time for you to get shot multiple times in your residence, Mr. Portuguese name. Nuno Loureiro. I struggle with those Portuguese names.
So do you want to know about Mr. Dr. Jonathan Halsey?
Go on then, tell us about Dr.
Yeah.
Jonathan Halsey.
Grok says, I couldn't find any credible articles, obituaries, or records about Dr. Jonathan Halsey or similar name variations who died in 2016 in Florida under suspicious circumstances while working on advanced traveling wave reactor technology. Searches across news articles, specific publications, obituary databases, and nuclear energy sources turned up no matches for this person or event. Traveling wave reactors are a real concept primarily associated with TerraPower, a company backed by... Have a guess.
Blackhawk. No. BlackRock.
No. But, you know, same league, maybe?
Palantir.
Nope.
DARPA?
He likes to poison Indians and.
Oh,
families.
Bill Gates.
There we go. So Bill Gates has a company called Terra Power, and I thought that found interesting. No report links them to suspicious deaths in Florida around that time. God has to come out and say it.
I don't know. That's pretty damning, without saying.
Yeah. So yeah, these people have been scrubbed, and it's just the only association is that Bill Gates has this same technology. I wonder who came first.
So the next one, Bill Yellon. Bill Yellon doesn't seem to exist either, but he invented a solid-state electromagnetic wave over unity device. Do you know what that is, Hobbit?
Well, it's over unity, so it generates more power than what you put in, and I assume again magnetohydrodynamics, like some sort of plasma's inside, and you're drawing power from it.
Adam Rashid.
So, like, some of this we'll just have to take their word for it.
That's what you can do.
Then the next, Adam Rashid, I think you'd have trouble with the Fraser because there's a few of them.
Yeah.
So died of a suspected stroke shortly after being threatened for his work on cheap tabletop fusion reactor designs.
Oh, I get it. Alphabet Cat was being sarcastic about the Suez Canal. Yes, the Americans helped us a lot with the Suez Canal, didn't they?
Yeah.
But what do you want the tabletop nuclear reactor for? Best I can do is give you a fucking windmill, which is just a diesel generator anyway.
I couldn't find any credible news articles, obituaries, scientific publications, or official records about an Adam Rashid who died in 2005 from a suspected stroke after threats related to work on cheap tabletop fission nuclear designs. The story appears in online lists of suspicious deaths of inventors associated with alternate energy or free energy technologies. That LinkedIn post is definitely one of them. Of these.
Yeah.
A personal website, cdpbackhoe.com includes it in a similar unsubstantiated list of inventor deaths.
Yeah.
Facebook post from 2004 and 5 copy the same text verbatim.
I don't even know if it's worth even searching for the rest of these because we're not going to find. Are they? Rubik will probably find something about. But is that the same?
Hoax, urban legend, or misinformation circulating online. If you have additional context, specific source where you saw.
Yeah, this is the problem when you feed like AI its training data from Snopes. It will just say, "Well, that's been debunked."
That's been debunked.
Grok, is it safe for me to boil a kettle? Well, actually, no. Only trained professionals to boil.
How do you spell Snopes?
Snopes.
Okay, Stefan Marinov actually turns up. He's a Bulgarian physicist, researcher, writer, and lecturer who promoted anti-relativistic theoretical viewpoints. Oh no, you can't debunk the sainted Einstein, can you?
No. Well, you mean the? Do you
want to do the sciencey bit for this one? If I put the link in.
The plagiarizer in chief, the Mr. I worked in the Swiss Patents Office and stole from actual inventors as opposed to, because that was the thing. Like Albert Einstein, if he'd been a clockmaker, maybe a few like horologists would have known about him, but he wouldn't have had any of the fame he had before. But isn't it kind of weird? Like his first wife, first cousin, divorces her. Second wife, also his first cousin. And it's just like, if you're so smart, how come you're committing incest with first cousins? I mean, that doesn't sound like a genius move to me, Einstein. You don't have to be Albert Einstein to realise that incest with a first cousin is going to lead to congenital birth defects.
Marinoff attempted to find experimental disproof of the theory of relativity by testing the speed of light in different directions using an arrangement of coupled mirrors and coupled shutters. Marinoff reported in 1974 that he'd measured what's an anisotropy? Anisotropy?
It's like scanning light through mirrors, but unfortunately that's...
It's ionstropy.
No, anis. It's like anisotropy.
I think, I think opticians do something with anisotropy, but it's one of those things you'll have to look up in the dictionary what it means, because it's
anisotropy is the structural property of non-uniformity in different directions, as opposed to isotropy. An anisotropic object or pattern has properties that differ according to the direction of something. So he measured.
Makes sense, right? So. If an optician says, well, I've done anisotropy on your lenses and I've noticed you've got a bit of astigmatism.
Yeah.
And that's why they give you an isotropic prescription.
Okay, so he's done an anisotropy of the velocity of light. However, Marinoff's claims have not found acceptance within the scientific community. Well, what a fucking surprise. Marinoff plans to develop an updated... Like, the next bit, he's a proper lad, this Marinoff. Develop an updating of the relativistic mechanics and electrodynamics as described in his self-published book, E. Percy Muove. Marinoff succeeded in having his claims presented in numerous publications, including peer-reviewed journals. This next bit is funny. Marinoff was involved publicly in many quarrels with John Maddox, the editor of Nature, who refused to print either his papers or his letters to the editor. He retaliated by securing the funds to place a full-page advertisement in Nature, expressing his frustration with what he regarded as the dogmatic attitude of the establishment.
No.
Can I just say, and this is the thing that really frustrated me with science as well, is like I naively, or when I first got into science, thought it's the search for the truth. It's you're using the scientific method.
What you find is what you find. That's what you assume science to be, isn't it?
Well, I thought you use the tools and the learning that God gave you
right?
to better understand God's creation. But no, you've got some very dogmatic people, very, very orthodox, I should say, and they're very much like a priesthood. And they see you as, if you're trying to challenge their preconceived notions about the way things work, you're a heretic, and you need to be like punished for blasphemy. So someone's saying, look, guys, I figured out like something that's more efficient than the steam turbine. Well, heretic, blasphemy. And then you'll even get people saying, oh, well, don't you understand? If you had something that was like that would be of benefit to people. You make so much profit and you wouldn't be called a blasphemer. People welcome with open arms. Oh, yeah? Well, what about Louis Pasteur then? Louis Pasteur with this aseptic germ theory. And I know people say, oh, terrain theory explains stuff better. Bear with me, right? So Louis Pasteur conclusively proved that germs aren't created spontaneously from bad air. And he had this apparatus set up where he had rotten meat in one vial and it didn't infect the fresh milk in the other vial. And doctors refused to believe it, thought it was a crank, said, well, you're just blaspheming. However, the vintners, the winemakers, where this was like, oh, hang on, so you're telling me if I use aseptic technique, I result in less of my grapes turning bad and turning into vinegar. And so the wine industry, vintners, they took on Louis Pasteur's stuff. And so for about 2 decades before doctors considered aseptic technique, it was already well known in the winemaking world. Because, it turns out, well, if you kill a patient, who gives a fuck? It's called a practice. Yeah. But if you've lost half of your harvest to like a vinegar bug, then, well, you can't sell as much wine. So this is the point. Some people are willing to accept new technology because it benefits them. Others, like Saudi royals, go, oh, what, fusion reactors? Well, that's a threat to our hegemony. Fuck you. Chainsaw him to pieces.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like this, what's his name? Nueno Louvre was chainsawed because they say actually he was shot multiple times. But I keep thinking of Jamal Khashoggi, which,
so Marinoff obviously committed suicide when he was 66.
Yeah.
For no reason whatsoever.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can find John Searle.
As you do.
Well, obviously he committed suicide because he was a crank, and it's been debunked
He's been debunked. I've been
Debunked. He got debunked in the ass. I'm gonna burst.
Sir with an E.
Isn't it great? Like every time we could get like, oh look, here's some technology which could benefit all of mankind, but brutally murder this person.
Is there someone you forgot
and
to
then,
ask?
Yeah. Oh, can we have, please, sir? Can we have some technology that will benefit all of mankind? Best I can do is brutally murder you and make fun of anybody that tries to continue your research.
So John Searle, so completely different spelling. John Searle, the American philosopher, actually died on September the 17th, 2025. No, he fucking didn't, because that's not who I'm looking for. You bellend.
Nice.
So he's another Google whack. Do you remember?
That's just normal.
As you're in a bad mood, Hobbit. Do you remember? Do you remember Thingy's Google Whack Adventure? Did you ever watch that? John Gorman's
I liked
Google
his.
Whack Adventure.
I liked this one where he finds Dave Gorman's and has the statistics about
miles per
Dave
Gorman.
And he wanted to be in the Gorman, so he didn't want like Dave Gorman's to be everywhere because that's common as muck. But he didn't want it to be so rare that when someone hears the name Dave Gorman, you go, "Oh, Dave Gorman! I've not heard that name before." Yeah, but it's kind of depressing, isn't it? Because it's just like any time we sort, if it's something that doesn't benefit us, like AI, which is going to kill us all by eating all of the RAM, you know, we can have plenty of that. We can have people say, "Hey, look at this picture, this video I made of an AI Starbucks thing where it's swirling Oreo cookies and now it turns brown." Like, you know, we can have that, but we can't have RAM for ourselves.
Yeah.
Actually, I got really fucking mad about that. There was a woman, she was claiming she was making art. It's like, so in other words, I can't get RAM because you're like...
So Stanley Rubik doesn't exist either.
Okay, do search engines work for anything at all now? What if you type into search engine... What if you type big boob into search engine? Do you get any results then?
Yeah, we've got loads of that. Porn, you'll find any porn that you want.
Let me just type in big boob. Let's see if anything comes up. Big boobs photos. Download free high quality pictures.
Yeah.
Big boob problems. Living with big boobs. The struggles no one talks about. Big boob start. Wait. So like, hang on. Is safe search off? Yeah, safe search is off. So why is it like only one result actually shows me pictures of big boob? These don't even show me pictures of big boobs. These are just fat bitches.
Got him.
Big boob fantasies, video 2018 adult on IMDb. 13 big boob problems. 6 signs your big boobs are a big problem. What the fuck? Oh, guys, look, my testicles are really big. It's such a problem.
Oh, I found Valerie Bokharov, who's a hockey player.
The last thing I would be saying as a woman is like, oh, my boobs are too big. God, it's such a backache. Oh, it's terrible. 10 big boob life hacks. Use your boobs to knead dough and stuff. That's not even a picture of boobs. That's someone's ass. Fuck's sake.
You search for big boobs and get an ass. What kind of? That's terrible.
It's not even a woman's ass either.
Search for big boobs. The search engines. The best I can do is show you pictures of fatzos.
Are you looking for Hammy? Is a picture of Hammy.
I literally typed in big boob, and I got again. It just like, this is how bad search engines are. They just show absolute shit. I mean, I might as well ask like some drunken bum in the middle of the street, like, "Hey, have you heard of any good websites lately?" So I'll get better search results that way. Okay. So look, internet's dead. Like, Now, I'll say this to the youngsters who might hear the show in the future, but they won't because there's archives. What are those?
So I'll put Valerie Bokharov, thorium research, and then best I can do is completely ignore Valerie Bokharov.
Oh, is it going to show you some pictures of big boobs instead?
And an arse.
Maybe if I type in thorium,
the best I can show
reactor-
you is a hockey player exactly the same age, because obviously he does hockey and then thorium research in his spare time or something.
Well, he's looking into thorium hockey pucks because that works well. You see.
Yeah, so there you go. So another Google whack.
Right.
Like, this is just fucking
Wow.
crazy. This is just crazy. Like, he died 3 years ago, Hobbit. He died in 2022. And he's been scrubbed from the fucking record already.
I suppose as we're trying to do stuff from memory here because the search engines aren't working. If we're talking about the mysterious deaths of scientists, now there was this Malaysian airline.
Could some of these
flight,
Russian ones be
number I forget.
because of Putla? So you won't have any Russian news come through. To be charitable to these retarded fucking things.
Well, look, I just conducted an experiment with Big Boob, and I showed you how effective that was. So that if I can't find picture of Big Boob, then that's it. Search engines are officially broken.
Big boob is
censoring you. Up until 2012, a search engine would quite reliably go, "Oh, you're looking for a picture of big boobs? Yeah, let me help you out, friend."
I mean, it could just be these names are made up. I'm not ruling that out for a second.
Yeah.
So anyway, as we're doing stuff from memory, what about all those microbiologists on the Malaysian Airlines flight that were going to go to the conference in Bali? The one about respiratory diseases? And then shortly afterwards, the Panda Pops thing happens. We're not allowed to use it. Are we still allowed to use its name or not?
What? I'd err on the side of caution. Actually, Hobbit,
I
can
was
you?
trying not to use.
This is a bit too sciencey for me. Can you read this one out when I can find me?
Yeah, post a link in, and I'll have a look.
Have a look at this one, and you can tell it's a proper it's a proper old school conspiracy site because it's got the old white text on a black background.
Oh well, that's good. So. John Charles Bedini. Oh,
I think this is the guy. Yeah.
I've heard of the Bedini over Unity thing. John Bedini was born in Glendale, California in 1949. Anyway, John's first design released to the public in 1984 was a booklet. The design was a direct current motor which drove a magneto-style energizer and a flywheel and a commutator arrangement. I'm sorry, I don't know what a commutator is, but a magneto is a very old-fashioned type of generator. If you've got like a chainsaw or a hedge trimmer, it'll have a magneto in it for spark plug. That's how it works with that battery.
I've got some Gary Vesper. I've got his list of inventions,
I
but it's
see.
a bit.
So it's a DC motor, but it switches between motor and generator functions. What it does that on the fly then? John noticed that when all of the variables and timing were correct, that the battery driving the machine charged itself. It led John on a journey to try and explain how this could occur with the realms of thermodynamic understanding. Oh, that's interesting. So he was working on it, just like, oh, well, look, guys, a generator and a motor are the same thing, but you just apply a current or draw a current, respectively. Yeah. Wouldn't it be nice if instead of having to have both in the machine, you could just have the one and switch between the two? And he found it in his case, it's like, well, it's doing both of these things. So he's got his 12-volt motor and the flywheel, and then he's got his energizer. That's the magneto. And then it's feeding back into the 12-volt motor. So anyway, what's he doing?
Not a lot now.
John must spend countless hours studying his designs, the waveforms they produced, the counterintuitive nature of the circuits, and the works of others who came before him and who wrestled to understand the observations when they did their disciplines. John Bedini's earliest energizer designs relied on commutator switching, a method that introduced inefficiencies and operational instability. As he refined his work, he transitioned to a two-battery system, which integrates the drive and energizer functions into a single rotor, and applying transistors for improved reliability. Okay, so a commutator is like it's a mechanical switch. You see them in old cars, and it's a switch that goes round and round, and it's got contacts, and they're used for they're used for making sparks go off on a car.
Yeah.
And you replace that with transistors to make it solid state. Okay, fair enough. So as he refined his work, transistors, the journey led him to question the nature of reactive power in impulse DC systems and the enigmatic role of electrical transients, those fleeting bursts of energy that conventional circuits sought to suppress. The monopole motor was born from these inquiries. And how does a monopole motor work? That literally is a case of magnets. How do they work? Bedini chose to share his discoveries of the world, yet instead of appreciation, he was met with skepticism. Yeah, because how does a monopole work? Where's the other pole go? Misinterpretation and fierce debate. The response to his work revealed more about human nature than electrical engineering. Many saw his invention as the key to boundless wealth and effortless energy, believing it could lead to a machine that powers itself indefinitely. But those who pursued Bedini's work solely for personal gain ultimately found themselves frustrated, unable to achieve the impossible dream of endless energy. I must admit, I once shared this mindset. The Bedini monopole. What John originally called the monopole was never just a motor. It was a teaching tool, a demonstrated principle, a living parable and copper magnets. Yeah, very good editorializing. Can you just give me a diagram, please? But as the design evolved, so did the understanding of what it truly represented. Today, we might better describe it as a rotary amplifier. In essence, the system does not produce energy, it amplifies a hidden form of energy already present, drawing it out through timing, impedance control, and inductive collapse. Much like
I found out a bit more about the Ogle mobile. So remember Tom Ogle? He reckons that was 100 mile plus miles per gallon.
We just finished the sentence.
Yeah.
Just to finish the sentence. So he said, much like a Class D audio amplifier pulses current to generate sound, this machine pulses magnetic collapse to generate high voltage signals. So what? It's using pulse width modulation. So here the output isn't a speaker, it's a battery, a wet cell, a chemical abyss. Right, okay. That's it. We done that.
Yeah. The Ogle mobile was 100. He reckons he was getting 100 mile per gallon plus.
If that's the one I'm thinking of, it's carburetor. What they were doing was heating the fuel before it gets to the carburetor.
Yeah.
So it was gasified. And because if you've ever looked at how carburetor works, it doesn't exactly gasify all the fuel. There's quite a lot of it which is still liquid, and it will still burn. But if you want a really good burn, you want to sort of vaporize as much of it as possible.
I can't find anything about Stanley Rubik, but yeah, I managed to find out about him, John Bedini. So Roger Green, that's going to be hard to find, isn't it? Because that's one of those names, isn't it?
The operation of this amplifier is a cycle of transduction and timing. It begins when the rotor magnet triggers a transistor, which allows a pulse of current to energize the coil. This creates a magnetic field, which imparts movement to the rotor, but the real magic happens not in the energizing, but in the collapse. When the pulse ends and the field collapses, it produces a sharp high-voltage transient, which some call back EMF, but it's more accurately described as the energy of inductive collapse. Yeah, this is something which... I've got passing familiarity with amplifiers, and I remember my dad telling me about various capacitors being put in it. He says, I said to him, well, why are you putting capacitors there? He says, well, look, you get transient voltages in the amplifier, and you don't want them because they could blow up the speaker. So by putting capacitors in it, you suppress those transient spikes. It's an interesting quirk of amplification. You get transient spikes, and it's something you have to be careful with power supplies as well. You don't want transient loads going into your sensitive electronics and blowing them up as well. But in here, he was like, well, what if instead of suppressing the transient spikes, he harnessed them for energy? So when the pulse ends and the field collapses, it produces a sharp, high-voltage transient, or something called back EMF, yeah. But it's more accurately described as the energy of inductive collapse. In most systems, this is wasted, quenched, or suppressed. But here it is harnessed. The coil acts as a reactive pump, and the capacitor or secondary battery becomes the reservoir. But crucially, the machine is not prioritizing current, it is prioritizing voltage. As Bedini and Lindemann noted, current is what causes drag under Lenz's law. Voltage alone does not. Okay, that's interesting. I say we, many years ago when I was working in a factory, we had these powerful neodymium magnets, and I always like demonstrating to the new guy Lenz's law, where I'd get this copper tube, and I'd say to the guy, hey, watch this, and I put the neodymium magnet in. He's like, where is it? It's like, wait for it. It's like, where is it stuck to the side? It's like, no, it's copper. It's not magnetic. And eventually, like about 10 seconds later, the magnet would come out the other end of this 2-foot long copper tube. And he said, what the hell's going on there? I said, well, you do it. And he was looking down. He's like, oh my God, I can see it going down, but it looks like it's going through treacle. It's so slow. I was like, yeah, it's called Lenz's law. So this is actually something you could do with a fusion reactor. It's also known as an MHD coil. It's Lenz's law. You've got currents, and through induction you can draw the energy out. So I forget what's going on with the magnet and the copper, but effectively the magnetism is pulling on the free electrons in the copper tube, and that's what's causing the drag. And I sort of do that tangent because again they're mentioning Lenz's law here. So the coil acts as reactive pump, right? Okay. The motor must operate in a pure freewheel mode in between torque pulses. The energizer must charge into a capacitor so its output is biased towards voltage production and away from currents. This reduces.
Did you know what a commutator was, Hobbit?
Yeah,
it changes the polarity of the magnets in a motor so it spins around. Is how Alphabet Cat describes it.
Oh well, I mean, yeah, that's. Yeah, okay. But it's easier to do that.
Dom says, didn't Tom Hanks die of AIDS in the Philadelphia experiment?
He sure did. You're right, Dom. Well done. Give that man a biscuit. So even the flywheel becomes symbolically rich. It stores mechanical energy between pulses, smoothing up. So this editorializing doesn't help. I really would just like, look, you need a flywheel so that in between pulses.
It looked to me like that page needed some editing desperately.
It's like, look, guy, this doesn't help your case. Okay, look, I'll try to say it. You use a flywheel so that this motor generator or rotary amplifier, whatever we're going to call it, it keeps spinning in between pulses where it's generating energy. But more than that, it allows the motor to breathe, to coast between input bursts, embodying the rhythm and rest. Oh, shut up!
To be fair, I'll just read the last paragraph because it kind of sums it up quite nicely.
The rotary amplifier is not a brute force engine; it's an instrument tuned for resonance. I mean, yeah, that's kind of like Stan Mayer with his water cracking machine. Again, you're using resonant frequencies you get more energy in than what you take out. You get more energy out than what you put in is what I'm trying to say. So the popular obsession with perpetual motion machines misses the point entirely. The system doesn't run forever. It invites energy. Wow.
This is starting to get a bit fucking wispy now, isn't it?
But what we call over unity is not magic, but tuning, reducing resistance, managing impedance, increasing the quality of transfers. It just look, all this flowery language doesn't really help. I just like, look, give us a diagram, right? Give us a diagram. Show us like this is the diameter of the axle you need. This is the mass of the flywheel. This is the spacing you want in the windings. This is how many windings you want. Here's the circuit, because like this diagram I'm looking at here is his first one. It's not the improved design where the commutator is replaced with transistors. Because look, this is something which any like competent electrician with access to his own winding things. I mean, I'm not good at winding a motor, but I could do it if I was very bored. Anybody can wind a motor. I mean, if you ever watch those videos in Pakistan where they're repairing a starter motor by winding it by hand.
Yeah. So basically, to sum up, this is how they sum it up, and it sounds more. It kind of cuts to the chase a bit more. John's circuit behaves much like an audio amplifier, or a DC to DC boost converter. Device is designed not to create energy, but to manage and transform it. The distinction is crucial. The system is not about extraction, but exchange. Energy is not merely spent; it's conditioned, redirected, and renewed.
Well, what I find very interesting in that thing, and this is the bit which I thought was most salient, was they were talking about wanting to amplify voltage but minimize current. And the idea is like, if you've got any current, then Lenz's law is going to take effect, and unfortunately, you'll be subject to drag. So you just want to have a high current system, and you know, there's other devices which like to have lots of voltage but very little current, like a taser. You know, so there are times when having high voltage and low current is very useful. Very useful indeed.
So I found out who Gary Vesperman is. So Gary Vesperman, like, he's the better person to search, because what Gary Vesperman was doing was he was gathering lists of so he was compiling a list of inventors with alternative energy devices who died prematurely, and mysteriously his office he died in his office of unknown causes while compiling a list of those inventors.
Oh, that's unfortunate. What a how terrible.
Yeah. So Bob Dratch. Bob Dratch, who died in 1997. 1997 seems to have been a big cull that year. Bob Dratch he created a thorium power pack, would generate electricity at approximately 1/10 the cost of current methods of producing electricity. Thorium is sufficiently abundant that the entire planet can be powered for millennia. After 10 years of continuous operation, a trace amount of U-233 is produced. U-233 recovery to re-purify the thorium is easily accomplished. Thorium thus lasts a long time when recycled, and consequently is a very different energy source. After extraction from ore, thorium does not require energy-intensive enrichment, as is the case with uranium.
Yeah, so I forget the type. I think that it's a liquid salt reactor, but what you do is you have your fissile material and something like liquid potassium or sodium, and it will carry on fissioning away until all of the material spent. Like you end up with 0.002% fissile material, some tiny number after 40 years. But during that 40 years, the initial kilogram of thorium that you put in will just carry on providing you reliable power all that time. And you can do it with depleted uranium as well, spent uranium. It doesn't just have to be thorium. It's just thorium is orders of magnitude. It's an order of magnitude more abundant than uranium is. I think. Now, I might be wrong on this because I'm very bad with numbers, but it's so abundant. I think tin is more scarce on Earth than thorium is.
Really?
And tin is not something which is, you know, hard to get hold of.
So here you go. So this is the thing I'm reading at the minute. If you see anything of it, just chime in.
I always find it strange we still call them tin cans, but they're all made out of steel. Because if we make them out of tin, it would just be very expensive. And also, tin's not as good as steel to do this sort of stuff with.
So he reckons that he can make this power supply the size of a 4D cell flashlight. So imagine like 4D cells stacked on top of each other. But this is the bit I don't get. So what is a 500 kilovolt neutron output?
It's a type of energy number, and it's not really that useful to us. So if you typed in 500 kilonewton volts into watt hours, that would be more useful. But here's an example, right? NASA have something called an RTG, a radio thermal isotope generator, and it uses I forget what the material uses, but it uses something that's hotly radioactive for about 40 years. Maybe technetium, maybe polonium, and it's really radioactive. It's very hot, and you'll get, I think, about 400 watts of useful electricity out of it. But there's an additional 1.2 kilowatts of heat energy that can be derived from it, and various probes like Voyager use an RTG in it, not just to power the electrical systems, but also to keep it warm enough so that things don't seize up. And I think those are about the size of a large backpack. They're not 4D cells. So I just look.
So he's got a novel way of doing this. So he says a thorium power pack's neutron exciter does not use radioactive flux components as conventionally done for portable systems. Instead, it relies on Drach's invention of a novel method of resident phonon. Does he mean photon pair cleavage?
I'm sorry, I don't know what a phonon is.
Yeah, I wonder if he means photon. Pair cleavage using specifically designed nuclear lattice holographic waveforms to induce neutron imbalance in a host atom, where the host atom then attempts to establish balance through the liberation of neutrons. Drach demonstrated the first model of his novel design back in 1966. So here's
a phonon is a quasi-particle. Hang on, this is way too much of a definition. Phonon is the quantum mechanical description of an elementary vibrational motion. So, in other words, it's a thing what cleaves an atom in twain. There we go.
So is he? So is he like creating? Like AC. Is he trying to do it that way? What's frequency? Low frequency, like in AC.
In other words, he's found a very interesting and novel way to cleave atoms to generate nuclear fission from it. Yeah. And that would be very cool and useful. So, of course, we're not allowed to have that.
Yeah. So he's actually got some figures here. So commercial thorium power packs can be developed with 50 or 100 kilowatts of output for home use and up to a megawatt for industrial use. They actually are power amplifiers with power outputs of 60 times over input power. Maintenance would be minimal.
I think even like a large household doesn't use more than 20 kilowatts of power, and a lot use a lot less than that.
A lot less now we're on LED.
Well, just let's say, for example, your heating's all electric. Let's say that's 6 kilowatts, and you use your power shower. That's 8 kilowatts. Well, we're already up to 14.
Yeah.
And you put your kettle and your cooker on. You're almost up to 20 kilowatts. But you know, if you had a 50 kilowatt battery, wow, I would just have the heating running all day and have the windows open.
Yeah. So then Drach obviously complains of harassment. So Drach supposes his problems appeared after he demonstrated his inventions at the Global Sciences Conference and during his workshops in the late 1980s. He has some idea about who the perpetrators are on the international scene, but nothing really firm. It does tie into Russia and the Middle East. That's kind of weird, because a lot of these Russian scientists are getting murdered, aren't they?
Well, it's not so much like who's getting murdered where, it's more what are they doing. That's the pertinent bit.
Yeah. At one point during an early workshop, there was a Chinese scientist who worked for the Chinese government and identified himself. To develop his driving patterns for the neutron generation function, Dratch uses his scanning system, which seemed to have been the initial crux of where the recent bout of suppression started. So this bit of technology he pioneered in 1985, developed in 1998, and in full use by 1990. Dratch unfortunately has a few more stories about being harassed and death threatened to him and his family by stalkers trying to get proprietary technologies. One stalker has been arrested and taken off his property. The stalkers got away without being brought to justice. Courts instead wanted to cite Dratch in contempt for dare showing that the stalkers were harassing and threatening him. Since that time back in 1992, the same stalking has gone on, and there has been email and phone harassment. Fucking hell, 1992, jeez. Email harassment in the DA and the DA's office, and police won't do anything about it. He even had a fucking website back then, I bet. www.bob-dratch.org. I should imagine it's gone now. Let's see if Bob Dratch is still there. Hopefully his family maintain it. Oh, it's still up.
Yeah.
Oh, it's still up. I'll put the link in the chat for everybody.
All right. Yeah. Cool.
So there's Bob Dratch's website. So what else is there? So then eventually, so we got patent applications were stolen, all this kind of stuff, and it ends up with him being run off the road and paralysed.
Huh.
Yeah. Oh well, never mind, eh?
Yeah. So there we go. So over the last 2 years, Dratch has been working to develop a very unique and powerful handheld and truck-mounted sensor capable of discovering Saddam's weapons of mass destruction. Oh, come on. Come on. Come on, people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got threatened with knives and fucking all sorts. Yeah. So there you go.
Knives, guns.
Yeah.
Acid, check.
Yeah. So a bit depressing, isn't it? A bit like the end of the tunnel's been turned off at this episode, isn't it?
I just feel like all my hopes being snuffed out.
Yeah.
you know, I wasn't feeling too chipper when I was just like, all right, so the way they're going to get us to use digital ID is you won't be able to have a personal computer anymore because you just won't be able to buy the components because Sam Altman keeps buying them all. The Grinch who stole the RAM for Christmas. And so you won't be able to have any personal computers. You won't be able to do anything. There won't be no more Alex Joneses or citizen journalists because like, oh, that video you're working on, it's been deleted. Now you've been banned. And now it's just like, oh, look, here's a guy that was working on fusion power. Yeah, he's been murdered. You know, just normal.
So we've got two more. Ron Howes, so he died in 2022. His home was raided and equipment seized before his death while working on a low-energy nuclear waste cleanup method using gamma rays. Francis Calloway died in 1986. He died of radiation poisoning under suspicious circumstances while promoting zero-point energy extraction devices.
Nothing suspicious at all about that. I don't know what you're talking about.
I think the final word should come from a guy, one of the commenters called Salome Nzunji. He said, "The world enjoy sucking life out of the majority to enrich the minority. That's why they set death traps and would dare assassinate anyone who would want better lives at very low or almost no cost. Abortion of dreams and frustration of lives that depend on such dreams. We sometimes forget Earth is Earth. All those things end here, but everyone will surely have their recompense."
Have you ever heard of the term the Loosh Farm?
May or may not, I'm not sure.
I was reminded of it the other day. I can't remember who the guy, someone in the chat will be like, oh, I know what you're on about Hobbit. But anyway, he described this like psychic vampires and they sort of suck our energy from us. And they like keeping us miserable because that's the sort of energy that they're most compatible with. I think we did an episode about years ago when I was saying Monsters Inc. was actually a documentary.
Yeah.
I've never watched it, but I saw a clip where like the monsters are scared of the girl when she's laughing because it causes the monster city to have a blackout because it's just too much power. Like they can't digest love. It's too powerful for them. It's the psychic vampires equivalent of transient spikes. They can't harvest them. So what they harvest is people's misery and suffering and hatred. And
it's
that's
why comedy
we're
had
not
to be
allowed
destroyed, wasn't it?
Well, it's why we're not allowed nice things in this country, you see, because nice things would mean that they can't feast on us.
Yeah.
So by keeping us in constant war and stabbings and the rape gangs and what have you, because all of that stuff, it just means that the psychic vampires have got plenty of loosh to feast upon. And it's a strange term. I don't know why he called it loosh, but I mean, I would say it was psychic fodder. You know, but it's depressing. It's like, never heard about this guy and his work on magnetic instability containment, but now I have heard of it. It's just like, well, I'm upset now because, like, you know, who's going to carry on his work? Yeah, and I don't think anybody's like it's not going to be like when Charlie Kirk died and Erica Kirk said, "Oh, believe me, I'll carry on his legacy." I don't think anybody else is going to go out saying, "Look, guys, it's tragic that he died, but this is just a setback at worst." You know, we've got his working theories, and we'll carry on developing them. We will have nuclear fusion within our lifetimes. Well, actually, we kind of do have nuclear fusion, but the problem is just sustaining it. And that's where his research would have been invaluable.
Okay, so I found a definition for loosh, actually. It's LOOSH. It's a term coined by Robert Monroe. Is emotional life force that is used to create. This life force energy can be utilised to create realities through it, to consciously benefit the individual creating this loosh energy, or to be harvested by other beings feeding off it. Another way to see loosh is that it is manifestation manna. It is the nourishing substance that creates realities. Loosh is food for the cosmos, and we as humans are the conscious or unconscious chefs in the kitchen. From this food, realities can be created out of fear or love. Many people aware of loosh only know it in its fearful form, where beings prey upon the manifestation of fear, creations derived from greed, cruelty, scarcity, victimization, and more. In our unconscious state, this is exactly what happens.
Psychic fodder. It's like the very substance of which reality is crafted upon.
Well, it kind of reminds me. Do you remember like the 2012 prophecies and things like that, where it said we were in charge of how 2012 goes, weren't we? We were supposed to like, and things just seem to have got worse since then.
No, I didn't know that.
I never heard of that. All I heard about 2012 was it was the end of one age and moving into another.
Yeah, and we were supposed to have been in charge. Like we psychically were in charge of change. And I think it very much has changed, and I don't think it's changed for the better. I think we chose to quote Indiana Jones. We chose poorly.
It's not my choice. It's the choice of every other sucker.
Yeah.
And you know what choice can we have when people are more interested in Strictly Come Dancing than the nature of reality?
Well, I felt a while ago. Do you remember that was that spate of news stories where it was just like women murdering their children, and I was just like, this feels like the end of days. Like surely Jesus is coming back at some point. It seems like it's we're all ready for it, haven't we?
Well, I mean, I remember reading something about that this week where they're saying that half of the Zoomers were aborted so that the third world could be imported instead to take all those places which the Zoomers could have been working in.
Yeah.
And it's just like, fuck me. I mean, women talk about men being evil because they murder and go to war. It's just like, you kill babies in the womb.
You kill innocent people. At least we go to war to fight people who want to kill us.
Well, yeah. I mean, you could sort of argue that when you go to war, you know, the people had it coming. But a little baby. I mean, you're murdering a little baby. I mean, like, look, I might not be the world's biggest baby respecter, right? I think they're quite annoying, disgusting little creatures. But I know for a fact that women love them. They absolutely do. You know, they make all those cooing noises like when they see a kitten, when they see a baby.
Yeah, as Craig Wilson says, thorium has no weapons application, therefore useless. Isn't it? That's probably why it got fucking stomped on.
Do you know what's really annoying? Did I tell you about like when in a previous line of work, I was doing this turntable for this guy who was a nuclear chemist.
Yeah.
And I was telling him about all the stuff I knew about thorium. And I said, how close am I to this? And he says, well, look, unfortunately, I've signed an NDA.
Yeah.
So I can't even point you to where to look next. But you're quite warm. And I was like, oh, that's really fun. It's like it's a backhanded compliment because on the one hand, I'm like, great, so I'm warm. But on the other hand, like you can't offer me because this guy was like a nuclear chemist. So I'm like, look, buddy, how do we do this? Do we wash it with acid? Do we what do we do with the granite? Do we just and then like I've since that time found out about you use magnetic centrifuges to put it out because there's okay, so when doing granite quarrying, there's is it called muscovite or micriite? There's these little black grains in them, which are mostly iron. It's iron oxide, but amongst that iron oxide, there's various radioactive substances like thorium and radium and what have you. And once you refine that, you can get some useful thorium out of it, and it's just. It's really fucking frustrating, is all, you know. It's just like, and look, we don't even need like new forms of thorium reactors. If we just had a government where it wasn't thinking in 5-year election cycles, but actually going like, look, we needed this power like 20 years ago, but we're going to do a thing now where we're going to have like at least 20 gigawatts made in the next 20 years. So we'll just have like 20
yeah, but it's not just our government. Our government would just get kicked to death if they tried to do something like that, wouldn't they? That's the nature of the like all the usual suspects would just kick our government to death, wouldn't they?
Here's the thing: if the political will was there, because it seems there's plenty of political will when it comes to making us suffer, like digital ID is just going to happen, or mandatory spacing and staying at home whilst wearing a mask, it's going to happen. So why can't it just be a thing of saying, look, you can object all you like to it, but the fact is we need this electric power. France and the United States Navy has proven that nuclear power is demonstrably safe, safer than coal. So we are going to make these nuclear reactors in the next 20 years, 20 gigawatts of power.
Red Ed's fucking retarded and he's in charge of our energy policy, isn't he?
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. I'm saying like people like Red Ed can come and go, but there should be like an overarching policy of like, for the next 20 years, we're
why can't the shadow government, instead of like covering up fucking alien spacecraft, can they just be a little bit more interested in making some sort of continuation of fucking energy policy or something like that?
This is the other thing, because like the other thing, like, you know, they harp on about this net zero bollocks, and I'm like, well, look. If you're really genuinely serious about reducing pollution and you proper wanted people to use electric vehicles, you'd be like, how much power does a household with an EV use? Oh, twice as much as a normal household.
Yeah.
So in that case, how much power is needed for residential stuff? Oh, anywhere from 20 to 25 gigawatts at any time.
Yeah.
So if we're trying to get every household onto an EV, that means we need 50 gigawatts of power just for everybody.
Yeah. which is equivalent to one of those thorium boxes.
Well, so in which case it's like, well, look, if maybe 50 reactors in the next 20 years is a bit too expensive, we can't afford that, but can we do 20 reactors and then have some sort of like agreement with France when we buy more of their power, because we're really serious about this net zero thing, and the only way to get a like proper carbon down is to build nuclear reactors, because unfortunately with these wind turbines you still need a gas turbine.
The thing as we know, Hobbit, we know the sort of carbon they want to get rid of, and it's not in the air, is it?
But again, this is so frustrating. They say one thing, but you know by their actions they mean something else.
They don't mean it.
They're not serious about pollution.
I mean, it could genuinely be. I mean, you've seen Lammy on Mastermind. It could just be that they're generally not clever enough to come out with
look,
this stuff.
I'm not. I mean, if somebody said to me,
But the problem is, they then
got an
go, Larry Fink, what's the best way of getting cheap electricity? Oh, well, it's dispossess everybody of everything. I don't know.
But I mean, another example of this would be like, look, if someone said to me, "Oh, did you know Ed Miliband's got an IQ of 95?" I'd be like, "Okay, well, that's not surprising." But why is he getting to like control our energy policy?
Yeah.
Why can't literally anybody? I'm not saying me, but why can't anybody else be in command of the energy policy for the next 20 years? And why can't we just say, look, these projects take more than 5 years to do.
Can we just have someone who at least passed fucking GCSE science? Can we just not have that?
But the other thing, and again, this is the bit where I'm being naive again, where I'm just thinking, well, we should have a meritocracy. We should have people that are interested in this stuff and they've got a proven track record and that can do problem solving. They should be the ones that control these policies. But unfortunately, as the boomers proved in 2008, millennials, go fuck yourself. And whilst you're suffering, consider the story of Kronos and Zeus. But boomers literally went like so. I'm not saying boomer. Who are the parents of Zoomers? Was that Gen X?
X's. It'll be X's now.
Yeah. So the X's and the late stage boomers, which are the parents of Zoomers. Well, half of those get murdered in the womb, and then all those jobs which those Zoomers could have are getting replaced with Indians, basically.
But to be fair, us X's were, to a degree, we allowed ourselves to be distracted by the boomers. Like, we're not complicit in what the boomers did. We were like, because the boomers said to us, "Oh, look, shiny light over there."
Well, I'm not saying anything about that. I'm quoting the statistic that half of Generation Z were never born; they were aborted in the womb, and that's just it's a tragedy. But this is why I'm just thinking we're in hell on earth, because Rick Mills dead, Ade Edmondson alive, nuclear fusion will never happen. We'll never find a cure for the common cold, and it's just going to get worse.
To be fair, I did hear once that if you cured the common cold, it'd actually kill. Well, if you cured the symptoms of the common cold, it'd actually kill you. I bet, because those germs wouldn't get out; they'd just stay in the human body and mute and multiply.
Yeah, but is this like the same sort of people that say, "Oh no, you can't get rid of all the mosquitoes because you just can't"? Trust me, bro.
No, I don't think there's that kind of people. I think it were people that the people I was talking to were fairly sensible. So I don't think they were Rachel Carson's.
But to me that kind of just sort of sounds like the you know who's.
Yeah,
are saying, "Oh no, you can't get rid of this disease which has no benefit to mankind because you just can't." Trust me, bro.
Well, what we really need is colder winters because that kills off the bugs, doesn't it?
No, what we need is DDT, which they banned. Fuck you, Rachel Carson. You're not even a real scientist anyway.
Isn't she?
Can we just look? The Greeks told us about this stuff. When you listen to women, you end up with the Greek tragedy, okay? Just don't. I mean, they even have it in the Bible. It's not just the Greeks that understood, listening to women wasn't a good idea. It's in the Bible as well.
It's how they set up the church like that for a reason.
Well, actually, it might be in Thessalonians, which is the Greeks. So, what have those Greeks got against women, eh? What is it with those Greeks? Just if there's one thing I know about the Greeks, it's bum sex, and don't trust those women. It will lead you to wreck and ruin.
Yeah, I'm with Alphabet Cat. Alphabet Cat's maybe cold and flu are just like your body detoxing, and not a viral infection. Like maybe you need it to clear out the system. Maybe it's the body's way of dredging the streams.
But potential controversial take here, right? But the reason that you get colds during the winter is because people are chronically short vitamin D, which you need for your immune system to work, and because people just lack all that sunshine, they're sick.
Just can we have CFCs back in deodorant? The summers were way better when we had CFCs in deodorant.
Well, they weren't spraying the skies back then. So, look, things were better when we could smoke in public, and I got to say that people's spirits has gone down a lot since the smoking's been banned.
We need cigarettes back at about £3.50 a packet, don't we?
Yeah, £3.50 for a packet of fags, and then £2 for a pint. And look, we just need, it should be a matter of national security. And all the ballons that say, but people's health. It's like, have you not considered people's spiritual health?
Yeah.
Have you not considered like all the mental health crisis we've got?
To be fair, they do seem to revel in crushing people's spirit, don't they?
Well, again, it's just like, if they were serious about people's health, if they were serious about energy, they would do things which I consider sensible. But they're not about doing things sensible. They're about making a loosh farm so that the psychic vampires can sap our spirit and make us all miserable.
Yeah, do you remember when it was all silver suits and meal pills, Hobbit? Do you remember when that was our future?
Yeah, I always thought that was bullshit. I just
but it was good. But it was good bullshit though, Hobbit, wasn't it? It was good bullshit.
Well, some futurism I thought was great, like Fire Flash and going on holiday on the moon. That sounded like good fun. I want a vision of the future where I can be like a 250,000 feet in the air at Mach 6 in a nuclear powered aircraft.
Where you married to Jane Jetson? What was the mum in the Jetsons called? Judy was the daughter, weren't she?
I was about to say where I can be.
But then again, Jane Jetson was a bitch because he offered her a tenner and she fucking nicked all the money in his wallet. Do you remember the opening titles to the Jetsons of it?
It always infuriated me, that scene. I'm just like, look, we're living.
Fucking bitch.
Jane Jetson, women living in very tall houses up in the sky should not be throwing stones in glass houses. It's a long way to fall down to the ground, bitch. But no, saying about this Fire Flash thing, I want to be 250,000 miles up in the sky, drinking a Pernod with Lady Penelope while smoking a fag.
What they need to do iRobot. Like someone on AI needs to make iRobot, but it's but Judy Jetson's been murdered by the house robot.
Also, can we use AI to remove all instances of Will Smith and iRobot?
Stop it, Hobbit. You're making me think of the meme, the iRobot meme.
Oh, a robot will never be able to make a work of art. Can you, Will Smith?
That was nicely rephrased, Hobbit. I like that.
Can you, fuckface? Does the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air count as a work of art? I don't think it does.
It was can a robot can a robot create a symphony, isn't it? I think is with the actual meme.
Can you?
Yeah. Can you, Will Smith? Can you, Will Stansel? I still haven't watched episode 4 of the Will Stansel show.
Oh, it's good. I like it. Especially
big Will Stansel respecters on this show, aren't we?
You're Eurythmics. Well, Mr. Stansel, it do in fact be like that, Mr. Stansel. You're a Eurythmics fan, aren't you?
Passing. I don't know. My dad was more of a fan than I was.
Well, I do remember you were playing this song on one of your Hemmy's house party streams, interspersed with clips of fuck you.
No, I never did that. I did Katy Perry.
No, the song you were playing was Sex Crime by the Eurythmics.
Oh, did I? I don't remember doing that.
I do. Yeah, the drops was, I think it was Yognonce was the drops.
Yeah.
The fucking fuck you bit.
Fuck you.
You.
That was Truth Angel, weren't it? Everybody's favourite schizophrenic.
Oh, Truth. I get these mutants mixed up, but anyway, point being is in one of the episodes of the Will Stansel show, they're playing the Eurythmic Sex Crime in it. I think it's the one
that's from the film. It's Sex Crime brackets 1984, isn't it? Because it's from the 1984 film. The one with John Hurt in it. Did you not know that, Hobbit? Did you know that or not?
No.
Yeah, it's from the soundtrack to the film of 1984 that's got John Hurt in it.
I watched it once and I found it very depressing, but then again,
Yeah, there you go.
1984 is.
Alphabet Cat says street dreams are made of 14 words.
There we go.
Richard Burton was in it as well, Hobbit.
Sex, crime. Do 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 do. Sex, crime.
The Eurythmics are all right, but Annie Lennox should never be allowed to open her mouth publicly ever. She has got some horrifically shit Libby opinions.
Yeah, but that's women in general. I mean, the only sort of like woman like that who I know is going to have like opinions I disagree with, but I respect her, is Enya, where she's like, look, I'm a crazy cat lady, but I'm also incredibly rich, so I've used all the money from my albums to buy this castle in Scotland where I live with my hundreds of cats. In
Oh, is that what she does?
She literally lives in a castle.
Someone definitely should have put a baby in Enya. I think that's a definite missed opportunity there, because she was kind of fit, weren't she?
What, Enya?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, she's not, she's not hideous looking.
Yeah.
I just kind of find it funny that
it'd be kind of all right hearing her doing her little sing songs while she's doing the washing up. It'd be nice.
But I kind of just like the idea that she's imagine like Enya as a child in school and the teacher saying, "What do you want to be when you're older?" Well, I want to become a professional singer, make millions from world famous albums, and then retire in a castle in Scotland with hundreds and hundreds of kitty cats.
I don't want to bitch you mash up with Prodigy. The Prodigy. The Orinoco smack you bitch up the Orinoco flow. Have you never heard that one?
Oh, okay. Because I was just thinking, I know Dido and Eminem did that duet together.
Yeah, no, this
but
was
it's
just
not
like
really
it's just like
duet.
a mashup that some denizen of the internet created. Like it is a banging tune. No, I don't know why, but they fit together really well. Those two songs do. Oh, do you remember when the Prodigy were good? They were the days.
I do. Yeah, and then Keith Flint married Gail Porter, who
are you sure he married Gail Porter?
Natalie Porter. He married like some vacuous bin, and she was a psychic vampire that extracted all his loose energy, and then Keith Flint died.
Let's have a look. Let's see who destroyed him.
Might be Gail. I keep thinking the name Gail Porter. She was like some woman decided to shave her hair off.
He was married to someone called Mayumi Kai, who he married in 2006. She hasn't even got a hyperlink to her, so that's how literally nobody she is.
He married someone before 2006, and that's when their music went downhill.
Oh my god. He could have done better than that. Hobbit, do you want to look at a picture of Mayumi Kai? There you go.
Not really, no. Oh, okay, I'm going to be made to look at this against my will now.
You will look at this.
Feast on my body horror.
Feast on my body horror tits. Do you want to see a picture of her ugly crying at the funeral? Oh my god, I can't believe it.
Energy invention suppression case statistics. Normally energy invention suppression instance 95.
Oh, I've just put those pictures in the 14. I'll put those pictures in the 14 words by accident.
Number of energy inventors and associates threatened with death 32. Okay.
Oh, you're having a look at the Substack, are you?
Oh, and they got hyperlinks as well. So
yeah, that's this is Gary Thingy's work.
Yeah, the Robert Gold powered Tesla type energy tank Brewster Palmer, N1 Homer.
Gary Vesperman. Yeah, and guys, search Gary Vesperman.
Palmer.
More on this.
It's very similar to the monopole rotary amplifier chap.
Oh, okay. Then
So
Interdimensional Lizard, obviously our fact checker in the audience. Jamie, get that up for us. Gail Porter and Keith Flint were in a relationship, but they didn't get married, so she didn't put a ring on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did half think that, and Alphabet Cat, because Liam from the Prodigy married one of the Appletons from All Saints. Is that what you were thinking of?
No, I was thinking of Gail Porter and Keith Flint, and then Keith Flint, like he lost all of his vitality when he eloped with Gail Porter. So Brewster Palmer, who taught physics.
Did you know he was a keen motorcyclist? He rode 2,400 kilometres, which is 1,500 miles, from England to southern Spain to attend the 2007 Spanish Motorcycle Grand Prix. He also raced in club competitions.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
He had his own motorcycle team, Team Traction Control, which competed in the British Supersport Championship as part of the British Superbike Championship.
Oh, I've just been reminded of something, right? So there's this guy here, Neil Schmidt, hydraulic wind turbine, which in itself doesn't sound too exciting, right? But this is a really low power, like reliable, renewable technology, right? Do you remember the Nodding Donkeys wave power? It was a brilliant system, by the way. Very simple.
Didn't they used to have them on the Thames?
Yeah, you put them in any coast. Anywhere you got waves, you put them down, right? So your Nodding Donkeys are these bellows you put on the waves, and as they go up and down, they push air through this tube, and then the tube's got like one-way valves in it, so the air can only ever go one way. And as this air goes through, at the end of it, there's a wind turbine, and it constantly it's generating wind. Therefore, it's constantly generating reliable, predictable wind, because there will always be waves. As long as there's water on Earth, there will be waves. So it's not tidal; it's wave power.
Yeah.
And it was brilliant. And Margaret Thatcher, she had a commission into the suitability of this scheme, and they looked at the power of it compared to nuclear power, and they found, all in all, generating power from this system, because I mean it doesn't generate much power, but when scaled up it does, it's about as expensive as nuclear power. But they deliberately lied about it, and I don't remember exactly where they fudged it, but they misconstrued the data to say it's 10 times more expensive than nuclear. It's just patently absurd. It's not. It's so low tech. It's literally bellows and a wind turbine.
Yeah.
And because of that, they decided, oh well, we'll make one new nuclear reactor. So now in England we get to enjoy, I think it's 3.75 gigawatts of electricity from nuclear, with Sellafield site A, B, and C.
You're missing out. Apparently, Crocodile Chop was a great mashup. It was a mashup of Crocodile Rock and Chop Suey. that's Elton John, and who did Chop Suey? System of a Down. That was it.
Great. So Neil Schmidt is Gary Vesperman's office, right, to discuss his invention of a hydraulic wind turbine. Schmidt had lived in Las Vegas for 7 years. 9 years previous, when he was living in Seattle, he went to a fit. Anyway, what is the hydraulic thing? The following day, he received a telephone call told it wouldn't work, not to bother with it. He later provided the SB office hardly any more than a sketch, so a hot argument erupted, which lasted half hour. The man ended up hinting death to Schmidt if he didn't stop working on his invention. A couple of days later, Schmidt went back to the SBA office and walked around unsuccessfully trying to identify the voice he had heard on the telephone. Neil Schmidt also has heard that another engine inventor living at Irvine near his Washington residence had been shot in the head and blinded. Right, so no details of how a hydraulic wind turbine works, but I'm just assuming that it's much better than the wind turbines we got now.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, we've gone over 2 hours now, and we couldn't find big boobs on the internet.
We couldn't find like the people behind energy technology on the internet, but you can find big boobs. And I know you can't even find big
No,
boobs with a
you
search.
You can't even
engine,
find
can
big
you?
boobs. No.
You can find Harry
it's not.
Madfwaz, probably.
Mm.
So there you go. No big boobs. The big boob, the dead big boob conspiracy.
Yeah. Internet don't work no mo.
Yeah, absolutely useless. CIA have got control of it. Hobbit, as Alphabet Cat says, we still have those solar panels to power your LCD calculator, though. Hobbit.
Great. I like this. Right?
Did they do solar panel watches at some stage? Because I'm sure I had a solar panel watch at some stage. I had every kind of watch going when I was a kid.
You know what I was saying about how search engines are absolutely fucking shit and stuff like.
Yeah.
You know, when you type into a search thing, you get an AI overview thing. So the guy in this search thing has typed "all you can eat buffet near me." Oh, hang on, let's be American. "All you can eat buffets near me."
Yeah.
To find an all-you-can-eat buffet near you, you could use online search engines like Google or Yelp, specifying all-you-can-eat buffet near me. These searches will typically provide a list of nearby restaurants. What the fuck's happened to search
Casio still do
engines?
solar power watches. I bet you can have a solar power watch.
Look, just to explain this to anybody in the future listening, we had this tool called a search engine, right?
Yeah.
And you put in a search query and it come up with pertinent results to it.
now you get a meta-analysis of whatever your search term was.
Well, I mean, just like, even just, hang on. What if I try this? What if I use the Russian search engine Yandex? I'm going to use Yandex, right? And I'm going to type into it big.
You know, every time you use Yandex, that gives organ power to Vladimir Hitler, don't you?
So every time you use that, a Ukrainian gets killed. But I tell you what, right? I'm using Yandex, and it's like using a search engine from 2010 because these boobs are big, and none of these are fat. So, oh my god, is that an animated GIF? Just so I need to. Oh, it
They give
is.
you GIFs as well.
Alphabet
Cat recommends Quant.
I've never heard of that. Oh my god, those are big.
I'm going to see what the
Fuck me.
boobs are like in Quant.
Well, I'm looking at the boobs here on Yandex, and I got to say, oh, she's got a bit of a butter face, but oh, she's all right. God, that's a fantastic pair of knockers.
Oh, blimey! There's some big there's some big knockers on. Blimey, Charlie. On
that's
there's
a
even
UK
anime. There's
socket
even.
as
Have you got
well.
anime boobs? I've got anime boobs on Quant.
Right. So the
But
thing
unfortunately,
is,
I've also got that woodwork teacher. I've got that woodwork teacher's boobs. Do you remember the woodwork teacher that had the ridiculously huge boobs?
I know the one you're on about, and I'm trying to forget it. But I'm looking here, right? So Yandex, for those not familiar, is a Russian search engine, and in my search query for big boob, it showed me like this picture, and it's this bird, and behind her there's a
Hobbit. Have you done 90s boobs?
This is a prop. No, because I want to see big boobs, don't I? I don't want to look at
90s
grainy,
boobs
like,
are nice.
I don't want to look at 90 kilobit JPEG from 1999. I'm looking at like some proper big boobs here, and this is very important.
Did you know boob bling is back from the 90s as celebs go wild for sparkly nipples?
Look, I'm just saying we might have to finish the show at some point because I need to do some further research into this big boob phenomenon.
Yeah, search 90s boobs. You get some nice boobs on there.
Look, I think I'm pretty good with my result of big boob.
Let's have a look at. Let's see what 2000s boobs are like.
I don't even read Russian, but I think I understand all that caption said.
Oh, 2000. I think you'd like 2000s boobs. I think you'd like them.
Fucking hell, those aren't boobs. That's a pair of udders. That's not real. Those are two fun bags.
Interdimensional Lizard got Quant gave me OnlyFans star makes 40k a month with her 32-litre boobs as a result.
Well, that you see that's not. But because I'm looking here, right? Oh, I don't want to see National Geographics. I type big boobs, not National Geographic. I don't want to see flapjacks. I wonder what she's supposed to.
Big boobs is quite good. I just did boobs before, but big boobs is better. My God, there's this boobs.
There's this girl talking. Hang on, I'm trying to.
Oh my God, I've just seen Kevin James with boobs.
No thanks. So I'm gonna lip read what this.
Why would somebody turn Kevin James into a woman with big boobs? Why would somebody on the internet do that?
Look, I'm trying to do some lip reading here. Okay, she's saying, Hobbit, step to the show. Look at me. I'm good at lip reading.
Yeah.
Oh dear God, no! She looks like a relative of mine.
Model 29 with M-cut breasts. How about that's in Daily Mail? That is.
No, just like that's put me right off. Never mind. More National Geographics. And I don't want to see someone getting rogered. I just want to see big boobs.
Yeah.
That's more like it.
That's not a safe search result, is it?
No, just like your face is Buzz. That's probably Olga, and did you mean bimbo big tits?
Exploring the allure of big milky tits, a celebration of curves.
No, I don't like bimbo big tits. I didn't like the search results that resulted in.
Bimbo big tits.
Yeah, but. No, big boob has got some interesting search results, and I can tell you what this gives me more hope in mankind than mysterious death surrounding scientists. Are those big boobs have been? Hang on. Look,
well, you remember that article, don't you, Hobbit?
Guys, look, I'm going to put this picture into Fortean Words, right? And you tell me, is this low res or is this censored? So the people in Fortean Words, look at this now and judge for yourself. Low res or censored? Because I'm not sure.
I think they're moving, Hobbit. God. I think they're moving. I think it's neither. I think they're moving.
Are you saying
how big is the nipple fucking area on that thing?
That is I believe that's called an areola, Fraser.
They're about the size of Free-Eye Atlas.
Yeah, fucking Christ.
They're currently passing behind the sun. Those fellas are. I think you might need to get rid of that because Telegram gets quite upset if you show boobs.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. What was I supposed to say? Floppy wieners instead.
Yeah,
that's what you're supposed to show.
I'll show this one into Babe Station because this is probably the smallest big boobs I've seen so far. You can have boobs.
I'm seeing a lot of Katie Price's boobs, and I'm a bit disappointed to be honest.
I got to say, for a small pair of knockers, these were actually what I'd say were actually fun size. Like, here's an example, right? What's a better sports car, an E-Type Jag or a Mazda MX-5? I mean,
I'm going to put some seriously paranormal stories in there. So I'm going to put in the Fortean Words Telegram. I suggest you go there right now. Best bikini. Yeah. I have big boobs. The 5 bikinis I wear all summer. They fit my chest perfectly.
But, gee, that can't be real. No, that's not right. Look, I'm just going to post this here. Okay, it's safe for work, so you can get away with it. But that's Photoshop, right? That's not real.
I think it may be, Hobbit. I think I may be.
Yeah. No, I just
see. You don't get stuff like this on the Higher Side Chat Show, do you? You don't get content disgusting. Like this on the Higher Side Chat Show.
So somebody's had a sneeze on those tits. There's the bogies.
Oh no, they've got snot on it.
Actually, I think that might be a different sort of snot.
Could it be a wallpaper in it? Wallpapering accident.
Well, that's probably it. I mean, let's face it, wallpapering is hot work, and you need to take your top off when doing it.
So she probably spilled some wallpaper paste on there.
Oh, she's got innies instead of outies. I wonder if those are real. Well, they're real big, that's for sure. The Fortean investigation.
27-year-old
into
mother
boobs.
with size P breasts furiously claps back at
P?
haters. Yeah.
Well, what with her tits?
There's a P.
Yeah.
There's a size P. What the fuck
Hey.
is that?
I've just had an idea for a show. What if we do a Fortean investigation of spontaneous combustion of tits?
You think the wicking effect could occur when breasts rub together too much?
I'm just wondering if, like, you know, if you're wearing a nylon bra and there's too much, like, you know, movement,
Yeah.
maybe that causes an errant spark and something happens.
Yeah. Why is it that fucking spontaneous human combustion doesn't lead to tits alone? Right? Aren't they all water? You know.
Someone in the Fortean Words chat says it would be good to be a chiropractor.
Wait, maybe this guy's seen Zach Flash.
But you look at that story I've just put in there. Big boobs are back. That photo looks photoshopped.
Jesus, I tell you what. Do you want to see a picture of Jihad big tits? I'm going to post in Saddam Hussein's big tits here.
Fucking hell.
You see what I mean?
Right. I think Hobbit's getting very excited, so I think we need to end the stream. We've done 2 hours and 40 minutes, and 40 minutes of it has been boobs.
He needs a cold shower or fucking
Yeah.
shower or an ice bath.
I tell you what, I'm just happy to find a search engine that works as a fucking search engine. You type big boob into Yandex, and Vladimir Putin's like, "Say no more, comrade."
You got to try Kwanzaa as well. Kwanzaa's quite a good one.
I don't want to use Kwanzaa. I celebrate Christmas.
Hanukkah.
Anyway, good night,
No,
folks.
thanks.
Stay spooky. Remember not to get any ectoplasm on boobies.